time to leave.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was a scores party.
Yeah, it was scores day yesterday.
I saw Benny show up at 11 and all kinds of people.
Everybody was there. Big day. And I can tell you that Cabby is gay. He is definitely gay.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Because you can tell. He wasn't in the back room with the chicks. It's like walking around. Did Cabby even spend any time with any girls?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah, I thought there was I didn't get the gay thing. I thought there was a different thing going on.
Oh.
What?
At one point, I'm sitting there, and I usually don't drink at these parties, but I'm like, hey, what the hell? So I ordered a shot of Kettle One.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm sipping it, and Cabby goes, he's sitting right next to me, and all of a sudden his face lights up, and he goes, dude, what are you drinking? And I go, Kettle One, and he goes, is it good?
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah. So I almost felt like everyone was drinking.
Right.
And I think that it got to be too much for him, so he had to sort of leave.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's how my read on it. Because he looked at my drink like a hot dog.
Yeah, right.
It was a woman.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe he is.
He had to get out of the room.
I don't know about that. Well, I did.
Well, he walked up to me and goes, dude, I got to leave. He was like one of the first guys to leave, and I'm like, Cabby's got to leave.
Party.
Yeah, and not only was it his party, it's like, Angry Black's not gay, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to let loose in a way that was probably almost criminal.
Yeah. He was Tyson at the party.
You know how you knew
looking around like he's Tyson.
Yeah.
You know how you knew he wasn't gay? When the party starts, you say, okay, would you like a dance? And you bring a girl up to the, the whatever they call it, the executive room or whatever.
Right.
Executive room. There's no executives in that room.
Angry Black, the executive.
Yeah.
Also, I turned around, Angry Black's carrying some woman like a caveman.
Yeah.
He dragged her by the hair.
He picked her up and lifted her into the room.
Threw her over his shoulder.
Yeah, I tell you, he's a good guy to party with. He doesn't bother anyone.
No.
Oh, he was busy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I saw Kevin getting a dance, but then his big complaint was the girl he had B.O.
What?
Well, then get a different girl. Once in a while you can catch a whip, but so what? It was hot in that room. First of all,
he does not want to hear that.
We pile into a small room, 80 guys.
It's like we're trying to set a record.
Yeah.
80?
Yeah, I don't care how much air conditioning Lonnie pumps into that room. I mean...
And the club is empty, right?
Yeah. But you got to pile into the small room. It's a whole deal. You know how it goes. You've been there.
Yeah,
you know what?
Funny.
Yeah,
Robin's right. We could use the whole club and never even see each other.
Because there's too many lights on in the rest of the club.
You can't even see. Howard, I could have a whole section of the club and never even see you.
All for yourself.
Great. Then you go there. I like the little room myself.
Yeah, I like the little room.
But there's a whole thing about jockeying for position, and if you get up and...
I couldn't even get to my usual position on the couch.
Well, they changed the room.
Well, no, there's a special spot where I sit. And everyone said to me, Howard, come on over and sit in your special spot. Because, the guys know we're all there.
They know where you're usually stationed.
They know we're there because of me.
Right.
So, I don't care how many angry, black, crazy cabbie fights there are.
A central position.
Yeah.
So the girls can get to you.
Literally, I couldn't climb over all the, the whiskey bottles and whatever the hell was going on at the table.
Did you get there late?
Kind of like listen. When I was a married guy, I used to be the first guy on the couch.
Rush over.
I never even used to eat the food.
They couldn't open the place fast enough.
Yeah, I would rush right into the little room. Now I'm hanging out, I'm schmoozing with the guys, I'm talking this and that. The other thing, by the time I get in the room, it's packed.
So your seat was already taken.
No, my seat was free. The guys cleared a spot for me, but you just couldn't step over everyone to get to it. There was just too much going on.
Were you there, Rodney Lee?
I was there.
Oh, yes, he was. Yes, he was. Rodney Lee. That's quite a... Now, there's a boy who's not gay. Rodney Lee. What about Rodney Lee? What can I say? You're not married, are you?
No, not at all.
Well, you were behaving like a married man.
I tell you, I made a big mistake once. First, when I got to that back room, because I couldn't see a thing.
Yeah, that's part of the...
That's not a mistake.
Well, my eyes are adjusting, and I'm knocking over bottles, and I'm like, well, I don't want to step on anybody. And then my eyes start adjusting, and I start seeing all these bodies, and it looked like everybody was taking their clothes off, so I was like, oh, great. So I started taking my clothes off.
Oh, no!
And then the lights go on.
Dude.
And, of course, I'm the only guy with his clothes off. I'm like, whoa!
You know what?
I didn't put my clothes on.
Were you naked?
You were naked?
No, I was not.
Oh, that's funny.
What were you wearing, like a jockey?
Yeah, I was getting there, I'll tell you that.
All of a sudden, I'm sitting there getting a dance, and I heard a girl go, like, when you see a mouse, she goes, ah, naked guy. So I go, what? I turned over and I said, Rodney with no shirt on.
I know.
That's funny.
Oh, Rodney.
That was the funniest thing I saw Rodney Lee do.
We had a lot of requests that day.
What was the funniest thing?
You know what? Rodney, you're not married, right?
No, go ahead. Tell away. I don't care.
So when you first walk into that, whatever that room is, there's 2 levels to that room.
I got to tell you, Gary, I was hornier than Woody Allen at a family reunion.
Right. Yeah.
You walk into that room, and that first seat, when you first walk, not the little room, but the whole big room, that first seat is the one that everybody walks by going in and out.
I know.
So it's a position you don't want.
Yeah, plus they put a TV set there, so you can almost get in the guy's lap because you have to walk around the TV set.
No, not the upper room. I was talking
about the low room.
The low room. When you first walk in, that's everybody's in and out.
Yeah.
You don't want that position because everyone's looking at you.
Right.
I walk into some woman, she's on her back, she's got her foot in the air, and her foot's in Rodney Lee's mouth.
That's what she wanted. What do you want me to do?
That's the funniest thing.
She asked you for that?
Yeah.
And all
You're
I'm thinking
supposed to get, not them.
Yeah, it's your day, pal. You're the king.
Did somebody explain to him?
It's scores. You don't have to put any scores 6 foot in your mouth.
And I'm so freaked out, I'm thinking to myself, did she wash that foot?
No, who knows?
Man.
Rodney Lee didn't care.
I didn't care.
Rodney Lee Conover. He would go down in scores history.
Do you guys know the concept of the jack bag?
But, dude, if you're going to be doing some foot worship on a chick, you don't want to be doing that in the front room. Like, maybe go in the back where people can't see you.
But I can't see anything back there. I don't even know who I am.
Yes, you could have been Gary's.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You can tell I'm not married anymore. I was like the guy who goes, hey, let's put some lights on. I can't see anybody. And everyone's yelling at me.
You used to be the guy who was saying, unscrew that light bulb.
I'm like, come on, I can't see anybody's face.
You were waiting until dark.
And then all of a sudden you hear guys going, no!
Yeah, somebody lights a cigarette and the light...
And people start booing. They're like, boo!
Yeah, lighting a cigarette was, like, ugly.
Yeah.
In fact, it got so... The guys were so worked up, it got so ugly that, there's a massage girl there.
Right, yeah.
So,
I don't even bother with her.
Stuttering John gets her first, but for some reason he goes to that upper little tiny room.
Because nobody was there.
We were all eating. So when we all decided to go in, John's... in the middle of the room, taking up a lot of space, people started yelling at him.
I'm not in the middle of the room. I'm against the wall where I always am.
He's not against the wall. He was.
And Vinny comes in there screaming at me. Get out of here!
Everybody was yelling at him. They're like, you're taking a valuable room with the stupid massage.
Chick, you get a massage out front.
Was he lying down?
No. I still get another massage by the bar. That's fine.
Yeah.
You get a massage.
But,
you don't need a dark room.
Everybody's taking up space with a dumb massage.
There's a space right next
First
to
of all, those massages are just as anything else.
Okay. Get out of here. They are not.
At all.
I love my
There's nothing. It's great, but it's not.
You rubbing your shoulders?
Yeah.
She rubs everything.
No,
really?
No, not my genitals, but she rubs my back and my arms, my hands.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It feels great, but there's nothing.
I'll get a massage when I'm not at Scores.
No,
she's a real good masseuse. I'll hire her to come to my house and give me a rub down.
Well, there's something you need to do, while you're waiting for your favorite girl to free up.
Yeah, and by the way, and I had this girl who I thought was hot, and then it's one of those girls, like, she dances, and the second she's done dancing, even before she put her clothes on, going, give me the money. Give me the money. Give me the money. And I was just like, it totally it was a soft on for me.
And well, you got to get the right girls. Casey, you're gay. That I know.
He was there.
Man. You're gay.
Why am I gay?
I'll tell you why you're gay. All right? I'm out at the bar, and I'm rapping to this chick. Always rapping to chick.
You love to rap.
Well, I was done with the back room. I was disgusted with the back room, and I came out to take a breather.
You would rather talk.
And by the way, after the 5 minutes of talk, I was back in the back room.
They forced you back in.
I get right back in there. Trust me.
There is a whole group of guys that hangs at the bar
for the whole time.
Or a lot of times.
What's with Neil? Neil has a real problem. He doesn't even go near girls. Someone told me
maybe they don't go near him.
Maybe that's the problem. But anyway, I don't think he's gay.
You couldn't get in that small room was a problem.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, once
Casey, you find a way to get in if you need to.
Dude, if you go up there, first of all, it's pitch black, and you can't...
Oh, that's horrible.
It's true. With Neil, you didn't have any gay guys there.
Right.
He used to love gay rich.
I know. Well, Casey, I see him by the bar. There's this really hot Chinese chick who's totally all over Casey. Into Casey.
She doesn't even want money for it.
Please. It wasn't about money. She gets up on the bar. Her legs are spread. She's like hot. Really tight body. You can't tell me she was ugly. She was cute. Yeah.
And what happened?
Oh, Casey, you're cute. Casey, you're a great guy. Casey.
Love you long time.
Love you long time.
And it's the same girl saying how she loves to be with, women.
Right. Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, she's giving him a whole
Casey's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, well, I go, Casey, what do you got to do? I got things to do. He has nothing to do.
Where are you going, OTB?
I'm like, dude, let's go back in the back room with these broads. He's like,
No, hey, my apartment was underwater yesterday.
So what?
That's the best place.
It was underwater at noon. It didn't get any more underwater by 3.
You're best off at Scores if your apartment's underwater.
That's why you should have stayed at Scores all day.
Food and running water.
Swimming pool.
Yeah, you know, but Angry Black was running around. He was shadow boxing. And he was screaming. He was like, "I'm the first man of color that made it to a Scores party."
First man of color? Not true.
No.
That's what he said.
Not true. Who was the first man of color that made it to a Scores? Let's think about that.
Remember the time there was a black guy here, you guys? Oh, well, maybe that was the Super Bowl party.
Did Mr. X ever go?
Mr. X has been there.
Yeah, but not at a party.
Not at one of our parties.
He went with me.
Right. We were with Pam.
You know what?
Yeah.
A man of color. I'm trying to think.
First man of color.
Did he break the barrier?
I didn't consider that there was one. He's the Jackie Robinson of Scores.
What's with all, like, there are some stereotypes that just hold true. The black guy walks into Scores right to the Asian chick. You know,
Right.
The black guy's just big Asian chick.
I saw Angry Black with a blonde.
Well, he was an Asian chick almost the whole time.
And then I saw him with a black chick, too.
And
he was running the whole gamut.
He's, you know, got the Rainbow Coalition.
There's a guy who like died and went to heaven and was not going to screw it up.
He was doing the Whitman chocolate sample thing.
Yeah. But it's funny.
I'll tell you who's not gay. Angry Black, Vinny.
Vinny is not gay.
And Ross.
Ross was giving me the freaking thing.
There was a whole fight going on.
It was like...
Ross hates Stuttering John.
He's really angry.
His Stuttering John made fun of his bald spot.
Yeah. Was he wearing a hat?
No. And he was angry with John, like, in a real serious way.
Yeah. Really, like he was calling, "You fat bastard, you fat bastard." What else?
And now he's vowing he's going to get you back somehow. I don't know how. And then he was mad at Gary, too, because Gary revealed...
He wasn't mad at Gary. It's like, I'm the only guy.
No, he was mad at me, but we had our own... We're good friends, so we talked about it off the air. But he was mad at me.
He was mad at Gary.
He's still stung.
You had the stack of money, though. How long can you stay mad at Gary?
Gary was like, I went over to Ross's apartment, and Ross had an assortment. I had to take a shower, and it was all the shampoos were hair growth shampoos.
He said he was afraid he'd shower over at Ross's apartment and become hairier.
Yeah, like Gary was making sure no shampoo got on his palms or his back. Tell Ross, what's the logic? Nobody ever took hair growth shampoo, rubbed it in their hands, and got hair on their hands. So how can that make hair on your head?
I'm sure every guy has an excuse. Yeah. Hair doesn't usually grow on your hands. It's stimulating hair growth where hair is.
I see.
Like everyone's got an excuse.
All right. Yeah.
It's a lot of hair on his soap and stuff?
No.
Drains?
No. I don't know. I'm not looking at a guy's drain.
Right.
It's just like one of those things where...
In his brush?
You don't like to use weird shampoos.
No. It's like I didn't have my own stuff.
Right.
Right, but even if
his.
somebody had Tegrin, you're going, wait a minute.
I don't know Tegrin.
I don't have dandruff.
I don't want that medicated shampoo.
Yeah, maybe that'll give me dandruff.
Right.
You know, I'm pretty good the way I am. I don't want to mess up.
Can I just tell you who really is, you know, I know we goof on him as a character on the show, but we got to, God's honest truth, the weirdest guy is Benji.
Benji, yeah.
Benji was so weird yesterday and trying so hard not to be weird.
I know.
He was there.
He was trying not to be weird.
Yeah, I went into the bathroom and said, did Benji move his bowels? Because Benji was infamous for coming to Scores and moving his bowels in the bathroom. Wait a second.
You think it's weird I move my bowels, but you don't think...
Has the show been funny since Jackie... He goes, some of the best radio I ever heard. I said, there's your answer. Okay? There's your answer. It's done. Over. I told him, don't walk out. If you walk out, you'll give me time to think. Don't give me time to think. You're... He goes, well, so that answer is no? You know, like that. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I don't even... First of all, I don't even think Jackie had talked to Dominic about that.
Jackie talked to Dominic.
Right. He's just trying to... He just wants to...
I believe Dominic wants a yes from you, then he'll call Jackie.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I go, what are you doing?
You know,
I said, first of all, I'm in the middle of eating dinner.
He didn't say anything about not showing up at Scores.
I forgot, quite frankly, that he hadn't shown up for Scores. I was eating.
That's why he'd be calling.
I was eating dinner.
But you know what it's all about. Exactly the way you said. Like, he didn't call Jackie yet.
Yeah, I go.
Dominic can forever tell everyone, I'm the guy that put this deal together.
Yeah. And it's like, who needs him to do that? He goes, well, I spoke to him. He's very, very sorry. And I go, Dominic, stop it. We don't need you to do this. So if Jackie wants to pick up the phone and call me, he can call me.
He's like that guy on The Sopranos who runs back and forth between the Joey Pantoliano.
Yeah. And I said, Dominic, and quite frankly, I said, and I'll tell you this, I'll tell anybody this, I'll tell him this, I'll tell Jackie this. It's over. That's all. The dance is over. You'll do this on another show. I don't care. Do whatever you have to do. You're not part of my family. You're the one who walked out, not me. don't bother me with that nonsense. You want to be friends with
Dominic. You're having a conversation with Jackie. It's Dominic
I'm saying,
bothering you.
I know, and I said to Dominic, don't bother me with this nonsense. Oh, well, listen, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. I said...
No, I want to shoot you in the
foot.
Yeah,
of course not. I said, if I missed a guy, I'd be the first one to tell you, hey, do something for me. But I said, it's not an issue anymore. It's just not. So that was that conversation. Then I got good and upset from that because I'm eating my dinner, and I'm trying to figure out what he's up to. Dominic runs around all day. Because Dominic called me yesterday morning and goes, listen, there's an article in the Daily News today. I didn't even see the article. He goes, there's an article in the Daily News today that says I'm your lawyer. I never told him that. I said I was your friend. Because I don't want to be known.
He's neither.
You're neither. Yeah, you're not my friend, you're not my lawyer. I don't know how that happens.
Use your house.
I use your house for my own benefit.
And you like him to treat when you go to have fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
About Dominic, though, if you ever hang out with Dominic and we're all around, as soon as you leave or as soon as you're not around, he doesn't care about anybody else.
I know.
Like, you know, anything you talk to him about, it goes one and one ear and out the other.
Yeah, so why do you think I would think that he's a genuine friend? You know, I mean, it's like, he's not interested in any of us, but he's interested in me. Why? Because I got a radio show. I told you, at the boxing match, the chick I'm dating sits down, and he's talking to my, he's all over it, talking. She's trying to watch the fight. She turns to him and says, she was smart. She said, you know what? Howard gave orders. I'm not to be on camera. If you sit next to me, you're not going to be on camera. You better go sit over there. He waits about 30 seconds. He's not too obvious.
It has to sink in, I think.
And he goes, you know what? You can't see from over here. You should be over there.
He couldn't think of a gracious way to say, get away from me.
But most guys would pick their ass up, and he made her move.
No,
you're right.
He must have had a good spot.
No. Yeah.
He must have had a good spot.
Yeah, he was like, well, this is prime spot.
Yeah, Dominic's like a dictator. He uses his finger a lot to point you where to go.
Yeah. And some people actually listen.
You get that, you go over there.
Well, he's your buddy. He knows something because he walks around like he has an authority.
Yeah, right.
I will tell you, though, that guy, what he does for a living, I went to the Knick game with him. We're sitting there once. It was like 5 years ago, and he goes, see that guy there? I took his house. See that guy there? I took his house. It's painful.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. So anyway, so scores. Let me see if I got to everybody on my list.
Well, there was a Benji story, you said.
No, I think that was the Benji story.
Well, the other thing is he has that gold dollar bill now.
No, I didn't see that.
Now he thinks he's black. So
yeah, he's trying to...
No, he's doing
another shtick.
College shtick. I like funny clip. It was fun. It was fun.
And then his rap shirt. Did you see that? The whole thing going on?
No.
Everything about you screams, notice me.
Yeah, everything.
Do girls actually, I mean, because somebody said that the girls are freaked out by it.
Anybody with a 20 is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. They're into anyone with a 20, but...
They'll even go in there for a 20.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of guys with 20s, Benji's on the bottom of the list.
Nice.
Right.
You know what? I bet if you talk to the girls and I had money in my hand, they would like me a lot.
And you had money.
Right. Well, yeah.
But also, I had a problem because the girl, I gave a bunch of, I wanted to, well, I think Ronnie's about to tell me.
What did you, Ronnie?
So Benji lived up to his reputation, as always.
What'd he do?
So he's with this girl, the girl who was at the MTV thing with us, Lainey.
Yeah, Lainey.
Okay, so he's with Lainey.
He's got a smoking body.
Smoking body. she got so wasted because she was hanging out with him that she passed out and she had to go home.
No.
Right. She drank too much.
Yeah.
She was with Benji.
So then Benji's running around. He comes up. Comes up to the little room and he's going, anybody seen Lainey? Anybody seen Lainey? She disappeared on me. What happened?
A comatose girl is a girl for Benji.
Totally gone, man. They had to escort her back to the dressing room. And
so after she was with Benji, they carried her out.
Gone, man.
Gone.
Totally gone.
Wow.
She came back. What happened was I was worried because I was going to set up one of those exclusive contract deals.
What's that?
Where you get a limited amount of money. But someone told me you can just say to the girl, I'll give you everything I get if you stay with me all night.
Who told you that?
It's like you have the right of first refusal to the left.
He's buying into that. It's like real estate. Hey, Angry Black.
Yeah, bro.
That was your first scores party. How was that?
I loved it. Thank you. And by the way, that Asian girl belonged to me. She was on the bar with her legs.
That when Howard came to the ball.
Exactly.
When she dumped your ass.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, I got the impression KC ain't gay, bro.
Really?
He ain't gay because he was getting his action. I got to give him his love.
Really?
But it was a great party, and I'm going to tell you, between Dawn, that's the Asian girl, and this big blonde I had in the back. I had a pretty good day.
Oh, yeah, I saw you with that big blonde.
Yeah, I was rich.
You know, I love it. Scores really does work, because you guys think these girls like you.
Yeah.
No, Angry Black. You know that girl is part of a team, the Twin Towers. Do you know about that?
I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Yeah, they're both 6 feet tall. And they build themselves as the Twin Towers, and they're even roommates.
It was tight back there. And by the way, thank Rodney should be thanking me for getting his ATM card and getting into his hotel.
Really?
You know,
More stories.
The story goes in the back room. You know that door there?
Yeah.
So I had to open the door to get light to look in my wallet to get some extra cash. And I looked down. I see an ATM card and a pass key for a hotel.
Right.
So I pick it up, just put it in my back pocket. I go in the bathroom, and I look. It says Rodney Lee Connell. I was like, dude, is this yours? He's like, oh, man, thanks a lot, bro.
How does that happen,
Thanks a lot.
Rodney?
That's when I took my clothes off.
He took his clothes off. It was Rodney Lee's first scores party, too. He walks into a dark room. He thinks everyone's naked. He takes off his clothes, and the girls start screaming. The guys aren't supposed to take their
But
clothes
he
off.
doesn't even care that his wallet went one way and his key went the other.
You don't. You stop caring.
I thought it was an easy pass.
It's a man's dream in there, I'm telling you.
goodness.
Is that party wild, Angry Black?
It was, and like I said, I believe I was the first African-American male for a...
You might have been the Jackie Robinson of the scores party.
I think, and KC's right. I wasn't screaming, but when the girl asked me to take my shirt off, she's feeling my muscles. But that Asian girl, bro, dude.
Well, here's a great story. So, the after story is always good. Guys, the real thing you want to do after a scores party is leave with a scores girl if you can.
Yeah.
You know, get one
That
hooked
would
up outside.
be the greatest
If you
move
get
ever.
lucky.
Yeah. So, anyway, my friend Richie's at the scores party. Richie Notar.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a player. He really is. Girls like him.
You know what I call him? Quiet Ross. He's just like Ross, but he's quiet about it.
He's very quiet about it. So I'm sitting there at Ocean Grill eating dinner last night. After the Dominic call, I get a call. It's Richie. What's up? He goes, oh, my God, I'm so embarrassed. I go, what's wrong? What's wrong? He goes, I'm in a restaurant. I pulled 6 broads out of there. Now, he's got 6 scores. Now, imagine sitting at a restaurant.
See, in the light of day.
In the light of day. With 6 strippers at your table. You know what I mean? He's
you
like,
come to your senses.
yeah, because he just looks kind of stupid. You know what I mean?
It's like coming back from Hawaii in that Hawaiian shirt.
But I know what he was up to. While we're there, one of the strippers says, hey, I know Miss October from Playboy. Now, everybody hears Miss October. She calls Miss October. Miss October shows up.
At the restaurant?
No, at Scores.
Oh, really?
She was at our party.
Is that blonde?
The blonde.
Yeah.
With the jeans on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Miss,
what you dance.
right. Miss October sits down
Miss October.
in the dark room on the couch between me and Richie. And Miss October's blonde friend is dancing for her. We're trying to rap to her because she's Miss October. And she even calls herself Miss October.
She doesn't
and she
have a
wears
name anymore.
and she wears the giant Playboy bunny jewelry.
Yep.
You know, like hey, I'm in Playboy. I'm better than all the regular strippers.
You know, that's like the bronze medal or the
Yeah.
Purple Heart to a stripper.
Yeah, well, the Scores girls are like it's like the holy Mecca. They're like, oh my God, you made it. You made it into Playboy. Because the Scores girls would like to be in Playboy.
Sure.
You know, they get to do the Scores calendar, but they don't get to do Playboy.
There's a whole echelon.
Yeah, so when she walks in, she's got the Playboy. If you got Playboy bunny ears around your neck, like in that
Forget
world,
about it.
that's like you're Donald Trump.
You have made it.
You know what I mean? You're Lee Iacocca. You're Mel Karmazin.
You're a hero.
Yeah, in that world, you're a hero. You're Sumner Redstone.
Yeah.
You made it to the top of the heap.
You're Bob Carey.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
You know what it is? It's like being an astronaut. There's a lot of people that try, but there's only a dozen or so that get to do it.
John Glenn.
I actually have moon rocks.
Yeah, right.
You got the moon rock.
Yeah, you girls are naked girls, but I was in Playboy. So she sits down. I get worked up. It's Miss October. So we're throwing the. I throw the rap to her for 2 minutes. I can see it's going nowhere. I throw the rap. Richie, I see, is working the whole situation. Then I see even Ralph somehow works his way next to her. I see him trying to work the situation. And then I'm wondering, like, who is going to end up with Miss October, at least
It's
working
like a
her.
lottery.
So somehow, Richie gives me the call. So I know where Richie's eating. I said, I'm walking over. I was with my girlfriend. I said, you got to go over and see Richie sitting with 6 Scores chicks, and one of them is Miss October. You got to see the scene.
So funny.
I said, you just got to watch this. So Richie, I don't know. He must
Is
have
it
been.
a nice restaurant?
Yeah, Japanese joint. And you know the girls are playing him just for a free meal.
Of course.
They're not going to do
They
him.
heard he'd pay for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. The Scores girl's like, oh, yeah, let's go out to eat. And I know him, Richie. He's thinking he's going to make the move back to the apartment.
With somebody.
With somebody. He's got 6 of them. I guarantee he didn't get Miss October.
I call him Richie No Luck.
Yeah. Miss October is the lure Because that's why he's paying for dinner for everyone. God, I got to call Richie. Anybody got his number?
I have a cell number, yeah.
So, dial him up, because I got to find out if he banged this October. So... and people are like, hey, you have glitter on your nose. And I'm like, I do? It's not bad enough. It's not bad enough I got a Christmas light on there. Yeah, don't draw attention to my nose.
It's not bad enough I have dinner with 6 strippers, then I have to have glitter on.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right.
But you know, Tar, who managed to get 6 strippers to dinner. Yeah. And sat next to the Holy Grail, Miss October, at dinner. There you go. All right, anyway.
You know, you can tell he really wanted her.
Yeah.
Because he said, hey, you know, those pictures were a lot better than what I was saying.
Yeah.
He wanted her.
Anyway, let me take a break, and we got to talk Survivor.
All right.
Because I've been up with Survivor. I got to give you my whole schedule. You're going to laugh your ass off at me.
Hey, Howard.
I'm a big tool.
I got a quick question. Do you think Tom would go to a Scores party?
Yes.
You think he would?
Haven't you
taken him?
Tom has asked me if he could go to a Scores party, and I said no. Tom is our general manager.
Taken Tom. I thought he went once.
Tom's our general manager. I don't want him there.
No. Like bringing the principal.
Yeah, I don't need a guy. I don't need a guy who's like a principal of high school. You want to know something? If we do another Scores party, we bring Tom. Okay. All right? Fine. Let Tom go to one.
You know what? I want you to do that. Because just for once, I want to know what it's like for him to have to come to meet him for money.
Yeah, let him try to negotiate some funny money.
Tom's a good-looking guy. I talk to chicks all the time. They go, he could get any girl he wants, Tom, because Tom's a good-looking guy. And he's got a good job. But if he opens his mouth, he's in trouble. See, I'm going to instruct him. You go there and don't open your mouth.
The girls,
girls will flock to you, man.
He's a lot like Miss October.
Right. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I got to talk about Survivor and tell you everything I'm thinking.
All right.
Because Colby's a tool. We'll be back right after this. He's an idiot.
He deserves $1 million.
He's a moron. All right, we'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Amber from Survivor, and you're listening to a man who didn't inherit his father's big penis, Howard Stern.
Thank you, Amber, who is very cute, by the way. First of all, a bunch of things. I just have a bunch of thoughts about Survivor that I'd like to give to you now, in no particular order. First of all, the thing I love about Survivor most, and the reason that I love the show, is that any delusions that Brian Gumbel had that he was a journalist are completely stripped away now. I love it. I mean, this freaking guy, Brian Gumbel, was, for a while when he was on the Today Show, we all knew that the guy was, he's no different than the host of Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight.
Shows, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, he's no different. But for a while, I think he started to really think he was a journalist. He had no journalism credentials.
He was a sportscaster.
Right. He had no journalism, but he really started to believe that he was better than Willard. That Willard was a goof. Because he sat there and interviewed old people and gave special greetings to people who hit their 100th anniversary or whatever.
Right, that was wrong.
Yeah, that was wrong. And let's get into some serious journalism because I'm a serious guy. Brian Gumbel now is a complete joke. He's Sally Jesse Raphael. Put a dress on him.
He's a boob.
He's a boob. All right? And he's fat. And he's miserable. And he wants Jerry, as far as I can tell.
Really?
Looked that way to me. Anyway, so I love that it's the complete degradation of Brian Gumbel, that the news department goes, you go, not only are you going to go interview the survivors.
This gaggle of people.
Yeah, but you're going to know everything about them.
In fact, do you realize that they give him a week off to study the survivors?
Yeah. He studies Kentucky Joe. It's just so great.
Howard,
so great, yeah.
Howard, was the Gumbel wearing like a muscle shirt last night?
Yeah. Well, I love also.
Well, that was casual Gumbel.
You gotta love Alicia, the bodybuilder, with her muscle shirts too. I mean, any excuse to show those arms.
Could those shirts get any tighter?
Yeah, I mean, the cut-off sleeves and the big masculine arms with the veins running through them.
She looks like she's choking her arms.
I mean, there is just no more turnoff than those big, thick, muscular arms.
A little femininity wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, please give me a girl.
Give me a ruffle.
I was looking at Gumbel. He's got like arms like an 80-year-old lesbian. Do you see those?
Yeah. Gumbel is just out of shape. He's got man boobs.
And he's wearing a tight shirt.
Yeah, a tight shirt. His tight golfing shirt.
He doesn't know what to do at this point.
I mean, who lets him? CBS lets him out on the most highly rated, highly watched show of the year. They made him shave off that fakakta beard.
But, he's not going to wear a suit. He's not going to dignify this with his suit.
No. Wear a suit, dude. Because you know what? He really still wants to believe he's a journalist.
Yeah. But this is what he's good at.
Yeah. So.
Being on the game show Survivor.
Yeah. And, you got to love this, the black guy from Harvard, what's the kid's name?
Nick. I don't know his last name, but Nick.
He said the word conversated.
Oh.
He goes, you know, to tell you the truth, and all of them say to tell you the truth, which means a pack of liars. He goes, to tell you the truth, me and Colby conversated many times.
You know, when he said that, I was like, did I hear?
He said conversated.
Harvard law student.
Yeah.
And the Harvard law student said conversated?
Harvard must be so hard up for people.
Oh, my God.
You know, I mean, maybe it's the, what do you call it, racial quota or something. I don't know what it is, but he said conversated. I conversated with Colby.
Maybe that's not the Harvard I'm thinking of.
Yeah, maybe it's Harvard. Maybe he said Howard. I don't know what he said. Howard College. He's Howard University. Oh, okay.
Now we're understanding what's going on.
All right. And the most disturbing thing, aside from Brian Gumbel's golf shirt, is that they actually went to people partying in Dallas who are fans of Colby and partying fans in Boston who are fans of Elizabeth.
And they were in Miami or somewhere in Florida.
Did you see these people?
Oh.
I mean, it's scary. That the real people got together and partied in support of their favorite survivor.
This means they have absolutely no lives.
Did they riot at the place that lost, like they do in basketball?
Yeah.
Turning over cars.
I don't think they riot.
The greatest thing
in Texas because they put you in the electric chair.
The greatest thing is Tina's facelift. I mean, you know, come on. A lot has to be said for
But
that.
whoever said that Auschwitz survivor is the look you're supposed to go for?
Well, what's really disturbing is they come off the island. And by the way, how about the dramatic Jeff Probst, who takes the cookie jar, the
coffee mug,
the fakakta coffee mug dressed up as a cheeky doll, and he puts the envelopes in, or the votes, and he gets into that helicopter, and then when he lands, and it's live in New York,
were they in New York? I think they're in Los Angeles.
Oh, was it L.A.?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, it's L.A. I guess Brian flew out to L.A. for that.
Well, that's what I said. They gave him a week off, and he sent him away so he could study.
Well, no, so he can shut up his blonde girlfriend. So he comes in, and serious face. I mean, a push like serious. But meanwhile, you know, dude, I think he thinks he's going to be huge, Jeff Probst.
But I'm looking at the face, you know, because you can see him in the helicopter.
Because, you know, I know Jeff Probst thinks he's going to happen. He hasn't done this show once this year. He used to do it all the time the first season.
Right.
I think he's building a career of some kind, which is, he's the host of Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
He's now keeping himself from us.
Yeah, like he's too important. And he comes in.
He's himself with a big interview.
Yeah, and he's got, you know, I'm doing Brian Gumbel. Sorry, guys. And he's got the serious face, and they land him in the helicopter.
Why was he wearing a headset in the helicopter? He's not driving it.
Even, please. I think they wanted us to think.
He's right in a hotel in Los Angeles. He could get in a car and drive there.
So for the sake of drama, then they got that friggin' orchestra with that big, long, wooden instrument.
Didgeridoo.
What's it called?
The didgeridoo.
The didgeridoo is called?
Yeah, that's the didgeridoo.
And then Man Dog. What's her name?
Mad Dog.
Man Dog. I mean, who's a man?
You know, Brian.
Yeah, you know, Brian, I always say...
I've gone through the change of life.
Yeah. All right. And then everybody encourages her by laughing at her.
I designated myself the condom police. And there were 13 when we got there, and by God, there were 13 when we left.
Come here, Popeye. So when she got up to blow that diggity-doo? All I know is Man Dog was blowing. I think that's the only thing she's ever blown. She was blowing the diggity dog, and they turned around, and she had, from the back, that was a man.
Oh, yeah.
That was a man.
Yeah.
That was Man Dog. Man Dog.
That's a man, baby.
You want to piss a girl off? So your new nickname is Mad Dog. That'll just piss her off. And she was blowing the diggity dog.
But then the guy started blowing the diggity dog, and it's just not a guy.
Which guy started blowing the diggity dog?
The guy that plays it.
Oh, yeah.
The real diggity dog player.
How about that orchestra playing the Survivor music?
The women singing the Survivor music.
That was great. Okay.
I saw a woman.
I want those women to do this show.
I saw a woman vigorously playing the violin. You know, she was like going nuts. But I have a question for you. You know, when they finally pick the winner, right?
Yeah.
They go through all that crap. You know, nobody's touched this jar. Nobody knows what's in here. I mean, somebody is clearly taking those votes and putting them in a specific order for drawing.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
No one's touched them.
Yeah, no one's touched it. But But meanwhile,
every time they have a vote, they're put in a specific order.
So, and by the way, I don't believe any of the 3 remaining survivors are coming on this show because Colby's a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And now
Tina wouldn't be able to withstand an interview here.
Because we're going to ask her about her facelift and her boobs.
And not only that, there's plenty of stories in the Enquirer about her stealing 2 husbands.
How old is she?
Oh, really,
Oh,
Tina?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Miss Religious has had, some problems.
Really?
With that moral thing, yeah.
How old is Tina?
And Keith, what?
She claims 40.
She claims 40.
Yes, I couldn't tell watching it last night. I just couldn't get a handle on it.
Yeah, and by the way, why would she wear her original Survivor clothes? The belly was hanging. She had kind of a nice body when they were starving her.
Yeah, but she's, and she's got these little scrawny legs, and she's got shorts.
Yeah, well, Colby and Tina seem to have gained quite a bit of weight back.
Right.
But
when they went to the family in the audience, it was either Tina's sister or daughter.
No, those are two daughters from her new husband.
No, what? She's got the other husband has older daughters?
No, they were older, yeah.
Yeah, that's from her new husband's kids, yeah.
Don't get me for noticing this. I know you did too. But when they were sitting there, there's just like a close-up of Colby's sack. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, nobody saw that but you.
No, Casey, listen to me. You are gay.
No, dude.
You looked at Marina's ass and Colby's sack.
I saw the belly. I saw the belly hanging over Tina, right?
Right.
And there's just a totally offensive shot of the guy's sack. You fairy. He's just laying. He's like he's sitting there with his legs spread, and he just sees his
Hold it. Jeff Probst's supposed to say something to you.
The tribe has spoken.
The tribe has spoken. You are off the island.
Don't tell me that you didn't notice that. I know you did.
Let me
notice that, but you.
Let me keep going.
All right. The other thing I thought was Colby's reaction.
Well, did he have a nice sack?
Did you like it?
Did you like it? As far as sacks go, it was nice, but I ain't gay.
Look at some guy's apple bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you think Colby's reaction was bizarre when they picked the winner?
Yes. Now, first of all, I mean, I don't even have to say this. Everybody agrees. This guy Colby is retarded. He's forgetting it's a game. You're supposed to win. It was okay to vote. If he had just voted Tina off.
Why stay out there and starve for 42 days not to win?
Everybody hated Keith. He knew if it was between him and Keith, he'd win the entire event.
Why do you go for immunity? You're trying to win.
That woman totally played him. I mean, it was unfriggin' believable. So I thought the ending was a real surprise ending. What I thought was going to happen was, in true Survivor fashion, Colby was going to win the final immunity because he wins everyone because everybody else isn't even capable.
Ridiculously bad at everything.
And he was supposed to vote off Tina, and then Keith and him would be the final. And
he'd win.
Yeah, and they'd say, hey, you played a great game. You win. You deserved $1 million. He gave that broad $1 million.
That's right.
And I like her rap. Well, what I want to do with the money is give it to charity, set up a foundation. Honey, you ain't winning that much money.
And I'm going to pay off my house.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pay off my best friend's house.
They should make her.
And then I'm going to help a family.
Yeah, they should help the 2 families from their husbands.
Here's what's going to happen. She's going to get $1 million, right? After taxes, she might see around 5 1/4.
Right.
They take a ton of money out.
Right.
Then after she pays off her house, okay, that's $100,000.
And you know what? You won the money. You deserve it. Spend it on yourself. You just starved yourself for 42 days.
I think Elizabeth had a great idea. I'm going to set up a fund.
Yeah, well, she's just trying to suck up to them.
I know.
Right.
She's getting votes.
How about you buy a bridge and jump off it? So, anyway, unlike the newspapers, and I know unlike you, Robin, I enjoyed the final Survivor. I liked it.
First of all, the first hour, worthless.
Loved it.
Them sitting there on logs making tiki dolls?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, you're wacky.
I said, this is great. I said, they're making them do arts and crafts. People are starving. They're just torturing them. That's what I would do, though. If I ran Survivor, I'd be like, have them carve stuff and then have them throw it in the water. Stupid asses. And then what I love, too, is they all became, like, enlightened from Survivor.
Right.
They're such white trash, all of them, that they actually came away with some sort of knowledge.
It wasn't about the game. I discovered a new thing about myself.
Yeah, you're an imbecile.
Well, Jeff explained that in very good detail. Jeff said that, this is really good for you because it's a time for you to be able to reflect on your lives. And very few people get to sit there and have other people analyze them. Of course, we're different. We get analyzed every day.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But most people don't get to do that, so it's a time for reflection.
Right.
You're actually going to hear what people think of you.
I can't figure out if Jeff Probst is an amazing actor or starting to buy into all this crap.
Larry has a tape of the guy talking about Colby and saying conversated. Wait, I just got to play that. Larry.
Howard.
Yeah.
Melrose, I got it.
Yeah. Just listen.
I really did. And we all know. This is the tape where the guy just Here it comes. Coming up in about 10
Make it louder.
We're looking at the Colby voting block right behind you there with Roger, Amber, and Nick. Why Colby, guys?
Well, at least for me, I mean, if you make it to the final two, it's not easy to say who deserved it more and who played the game better. I mean, they did it differently to get to the final two. But for me, I just voted for the person who I thought, outside of the context of the game, who really tried to get to know me. And at that point in the game, Colby and I had conversated about a number of things, and I felt we were related. And it didn't help that he said you'd have been the one sitting there if he wasn't.
First of all, I got to say something. Hey, Larry, thank you. The thing I got to say, Brian Gumbel is the worst interviewer. He spent the week preparing. How do you not? First of all, every one of those people, when you ask them a question, their answers, and we should just play their answers, I don't understand one thing they're saying.
Right.
They're interviewing this guy, Colby. Brian Gumbel says to him, why did you...
He just says, why?
Yeah, why?
And he goes, what?
He goes, what? And they acting like he didn't know what he's talking about. Oh, I thought you was going to ask me something else. Yeah, okay. Why is your teeth so white? So, and then he says, why did you not vote off Tina? He goes, well, I should get Larry back on the phone because he's got the whole tape.
Yeah, I have the whole tape.
You do?
It's
all
here,
right.
yeah.
I got it. I'll go get it.
Yeah, just stick it in the VCR because you got to hear this guy. You got to hear this guy talk.
I can't.
Why?
It's on TiVo.
No, I have it on videotape.
Get it from Robin.
Colby or
Colby, Tina, any of them. They're trying to come away with some sort of God enlightenment, like New Age enlightenment, and they start answering stuff, and none of them are honest. First of all, they're all lying that they weren't subtracted. You're a guy on an island. There's nothing to do all day. You're laying there in the hot sun. I know if I just lay and my balls get a little sun on them, all I know is I'm ready for activity. And I know you're starving and all that other stuff. There's nothing to do. You're not horny for any of these chicks. Amber looks like a friggin' model, and you're telling me you were in the beginning you weren't even horny for her? Be a little honest. It never occurred to you that you might want to get some pleasure out of this and bang one of them?
Nobody's a real person.
Nobody's real. Everyone's on good behavior. They all want to be heroes. This Brian Gumbel, I would have said to Colby,
follow up on anything controversial. A woman starts to cry. And he goes, we won't go into that any further.
Yeah, we don't want to bother you. First of all, is that woman, is she retarded? And by the way, I don't know anything about her, but what did the press say about her?
She's the one who married her stepson.
Oh!
Now, if you have the guts to marry your stepson,
right.
Do you care what people say about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was the fact.
Oh, that's the one. But you want to know something? She's stupid. Don't bring it up again because I didn't even remember.
That's what I was saying. No, but she was off the map.
These people think they were going to be forever sort of embedded in our memories. Right. Now I'll remember.
But here's the scary thing: she's worried that she lost her self-esteem because she got voted off. I mean,
she's sad. I mean, that's why I said, is she mentally competent to be a part of our society?
Obviously, they needed to get her out of there right away. She would have never made it.
That's why they voted her off. She's crippled.
She would never have made it.
She started crying on TV because she was voted off Survivor. Honey, thank God you were never going to win anyway. Why do you want to go through all that hell? I didn't get to be, the public didn't get to know me, and the people on the island didn't get to know me. No one wants to know you.
Nice person.
Get to know your stepson. I'm a good person. I want everyone to know it. Please love me, Daddy. Love me. Somebody love me. Oh, my God. And Brian Gumbel doesn't say a word. They go, Colby, why'd you do it? And he's like, well, she played, and we won't get in the final two.
I thought about it. I knew this question would come, and I tried to think of a good answer. Something intelligent.
Yeah, right. And you know what? Brian Gumbel doesn't say, stop all the gobbledygook, dude. Tell me, what did you do here? You had $1 million. Why did you give it to this broad? How bad were you played?
Yeah, how stupid do you feel right now?
Yeah.
All I got to say is I can sleep at night now. I slept good every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I slept.
Why are you sleeping? You're a young guy. I can sleep now.
But, and Colby was...
And they're worried about ethics and morals. Dude, you're on a game show to win.
What did you
it's
think
okay.
Of those questions everybody got up to ask before they voted.
Do you see how religion guilts you into stuff? Like, religious people are whacked out of their skull. I knew how to play ethically. It's okay. You don't have to be ethical.
I told my wife that I didn't do anything to embarrass myself.
The Kentucky Jew.
Not to be ashamed.
Dude, trust me, you should be embarrassed.
You should be embarrassed of that hat.
Yeah, and your fixation on the young girl.
And that accent.
Elizabeth is my disciple.
And how about Keith? I was enlightened because I got to look on a rock and think about my life.
It's all this new age crap and the feminization of men.
Oh, and you know the other, because he was really funny to me.
Yeah.
He had met that girl he proposed to. He knew her for 3 weeks before he went to the Outback.
I know. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he knew her for 3
funny.
weeks.
And you know what?
And proposed to her on TV. Now he's stuck.
Yeah, peas and carrots.
Oh, no wonder she didn't know how to answer. She hardly knows the guy.
Let's call each other peas and carrots from now on. You be peas, I'll be carrots.
Hello, peas.
Hi, carrots. And let's begin our show. Oh, man. I tell you, unbelievable. But you know what? I like it. And you say you're not watching next season?
I'm never watching again because I want to see a game. I do not want to see people get enlightened.
Well,
I want a competition.
I loved it.
And I want the guy who deserves to win to win.
The only part that sucked was Brian Cumble that last hour. That sucked.
No, come on. The helicopter with they should have dropped him out of that helicopter.
They should have turned it over on his head.
I agree with, Robin, the questions they asked and the final thing was horrible. It was the same question over and again. What do you regret? What do you feel bad?
Well, what are you going to ask?
Are you guilty? When did you feel that you lied the worst?
What are you going to ask? I like that part. Truly, you're on the air.
Hey, Howie. How you doing, man?
Hey, man.
Hey, you know what? I normally don't agree with Robin, but I'm telling you, the first hour of that show should have came with tampons. It was the gayest thing I've ever.
It was new age. Everyone was enlightened.
And then with the idols, they make these idols. And they say, we want you to give back to the Outback, so throw it in the goddamn river.
Hey, by the way, did you see how Keith threw the idol in with 2 hands like a chick?
The whole thing with the helicopter, Jeff Probst, I like how he was sitting on top of that waterfall like some leprechaun just sitting there waiting for him.
I know. Hey, by the way,
come a long
I
way.
think Tina's facelift is outrageously good.
I didn't even know that was her.
What's weird...
See, my problem is she's pulled so tight that all you see is teeth.
Really? See, I kind of thought this, though. A lot of these chicks got to learn a lesson from this. They look better on Survivor than they do in real life. And I'll tell you what, they get all made up with eye makeup and hair, and the more...
She did look terrible last night.
Yeah, the better everyone looks better when you just don't work that hard at it, or at least look like too much makeup, too much like the hair in every place.
Right.
It's like that chick Colleen. She looked great on Survivor, but now you see pictures of her, and it's like her face, it looks different.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Colleen was great on Survivor because she was a hot chick among a bunch of ugly, regular people. Now they're putting her in the movies. Compared to movie stars, she looks like hell. Yeah. Did you see her? You see that promo for the Rob Schneider movie that she's in?
Yeah, they ran that last night too.
Yeah, and she's over made up.
Yeah, she doesn't need all that makeup.
Her face is way big.
Oh, they're ruining her.
How about when they were doing the jury thing at the end, and Jeff is just standing off to the side like some SS trooper. He's just calling out people's names.
I like his gay shorts.
Yeah, that Jungle Gym outfit.
Yeah, the Jungle Gym outfit.
I thought it was
at the
what?
Town meeting. Didn't Jeff Probst look like he got something like done or something?
Looks like he's had a little work too.
You know what? He got sick. I read in the tabloids that he had some kind of an intestinal parasite.
Yeah.
After he got
That's funny. Like, the rest of them are not eating anything. You're better off doing that.
Right, yeah.
For, in my head, let's say the 2 strongest players to me right now seem to be Colby and Tina.
Right.
That doesn't mean that the others can't go farther, but the 2 strongest players, if people are smart, they'll get rid of 1 or 2 of them. Anyway, I don't think that'll happen. So Colby, Tina, Keith, and Amber are likely to be the final 4. They may replace Amber with Elizabeth because they seem to like her style.
This guy's a genius.
He's the genius of
He is the gay Einstein. Hold on, wait. Let me...
Colby, without you, I wouldn't be here. She was thanking the guy Mike. Without you, I wouldn't. Colby saying, without you, I wouldn't be here. This is not a game of thanking. This is a game of surviving, getting to the top.
Of course.
Well, you know what they look like? They look like they were in the Miss America pageant, the 2 of them holding hands.
Exactly. No one had any questions to ask. Last year's Survivor, all the contestants asked questions which personally affected them. Over here, it seems like they scripted out the questions, which had no relevance to the game.
I just want to go back to the Richard Hatch tape. 1 second.
So much.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there was no more.
You know, Robin was right. It was when he was holding her hand, it was very gay. It was like the 2 women at the
It was very... First of all, the whole show was gay because it was a whole new age feel to it now. Like, we're all here. Forget the game. It transcended the game. We learned.
About the money.
It stopped being a game about money for me. Somewhere, dude, wake up.
The only controversy over there was what's her name? The girl with the curly hair, whatever her name is.
Yeah, they voted off all the interesting people.
That was the only controversy on the whole
Jerry
thing.
the
The only
Witch.
thing that made it exciting.
She's got that gummy smile, man. That turns me off. I hate chicks with the gummy smile.
She's
Puts the hair
another
back
girl
like back in the 80s.
who looked worse last night than she did in the outfit.
Yeah.
Robin, like the way she wears her hair?
Who?
I think she went to sleep in the 80s and never woke up since.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Listen, Howard, look, I got something else to tell you.
What?
I had Beetlejuice by my house a few weeks ago for a party.
Yeah.
This was hysterical. A buddy of mine got on a cell phone. He called up another cell phone and said, Beetle, Katie Juice is on the phone. Picks up the phone. He's having a full conversation while my buddy is sitting right next to him. Right next to him.
I just did that.
And then High Pitch picks up the phone, and High Pitch starts talking and goes, hey, High Pitch, I know it's you. And my friend continues to talk, and finally he's standing face to face with Beetle. So like 10 minutes later, I got this on videotape. And then Beetle says, hey, you can't fool me. You can't fool me. I knew it was you the whole time. He starts punching him and hitting him.
Oh, that's great.
Can I ask you a
I
question?
got everything on video. I want to send it to the station.
Yeah, why did you have Beetlejuice at your house?
I made a surprise birthday party for my wife.
Wow.
So you had dwarf.
Did he get naked?
No, he just took off his shirt, but he walked in all in his army fatigue with a cigar. He was walking around like a big pimp, looking everyone down.
What'd you have to pay the dude?
My wife is probably listening. I can't tell.
Oh, come on.
Huh?
Is it more
It
or
was
less?
worth it. It was worth it.
Well, tell me the amount.
It was worth it.
She ain't listening. Whisper it.
I whisper it. It was worth it.
Was
How
it
much?
More or less than 500?
More.
More or less than 1,000?
Let's stop over there.
Wow.
I had a high pitch, but high pitch was like.
Beetle's making a
The
fortune.
guy with a high pitched voice, big deal.
Next time Beetle comes in, bring in Sean with him. I want to know where the money's
Sean was
going.
there also.
I know. Sean's with him every step of the way.
He carries a bag around with him. I don't know what's in that bag, but he doesn't leave that bag by himself.
Beetlejuice really is the goose that laid the golden egg. You do not let him out of your sight. You carry him and keep him in a special case.
You know what he carries in that bag?
A gun, probably.
No. That's Beetle's house.
No, it was hysterical. I mean, he was so funny. We told him, we said, Beetle, we'll give you a piece of cake, a huge piece of cake. If you could eat this piece of cake in one bite, you can have sex with any one of the girls in this party. Okay, this cake was a size for 4 people to eat. He was all psyched out. He goes, 1, 2, 3. He dug his face in the cake. He couldn't use a fork. Just his mouth. All over his face, all over his yellow head.
Oh, that's funny.
Derek, I got everything on videotape. It was
Yeah,
so
send
funny.
it in to us, all right?
All right.
All right, later.
Gary's going to get on the phone and tell me where to send it?
Yeah, hold on. Gotta see that.
You paid a fortune so you could goof on Beetlejuice.
I know. Melrose.
Yeah, listen, they wouldn't even let Richard in last night.
Who?
Richard, the first winner of Survivor.
What do you mean they wouldn't let him in?
Because he works for a competing TV show now. And there's a media blackout on anybody except for Survivor. So he was outside on the
Oh,
carpet.
please. What show does he work for?
He works for Entertainment Tonight.
So what? That's
They
not a
would not let
competing
him in.
network. It's on some of the CBS
I'm
stations.
telling you, they would not let him in. It was on the news last night.
They won't let him in? You mean he wanted to come in and they wouldn't let him in?
That's right. He wanted to come in, so he couldn't even see that. He won the first Survivor.
I was surprised they didn't have him there.
Yeah, they should have.
He was outside on the
He
carpet.
would have been better than Brian Cumble because he would have asked some relevant questions.
I think he should have been wearing a crown that he could have handed over.
There
I
you
got to
go.
tell you something. That guy is a genius when it comes to the
He
Survivor.
knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You think they'll have like an all-star Survivor with like all the guys who won?
The Masters.
Yeah,
the Masters
yeah.
tournament of
Oh,
Survivor.
bring back all the winners.
To get
See who
Richard,
does
you'd
it.
watch that.
Oh, I'd love that.
And you know you'd watch Celebrity Survivor, especially if I'm on.
Oh, please.
I'd love to be in Whack Pack Survivor, Howard.
Yeah, you'll be in it.
I've also got tape of Kobe from last night if you want to hear it.
What do you got that we don't have?
Well, this is Kobe live in L.A.
Oh, this is not from the show.
No.
Kobe Bryant or Colby?
No, whatever. The second runner-up, Colby.
Go ahead.
All right, here it comes.
You ran into him?
No. This is from the news. He was they were in L.A. live last night.
All right, go ahead. I'm sure it doesn't make any sense. The guy can't put 2 words together.
No, here it is.
Texas.
I don't know one thing this guy Colby says.
Right.
He's got like a new age revelation every time. I could sleep at night. You can sleep at night.
I haven't lost one night of sleep.
But you lost $1 million.
I don't think I'll be at that level. I mean, I'm close. Actually, I'm happy as far as that way. It was a journey.
This is after the event,
It
Howard.
started off as a game. I came in here, I'm going to win this money, and told my kids I'm going to do the best I can do, and they all did the best they could do, and the man standing right here next to me is the guy who went all the way to the end. Colby Donaldson almost winning. Do you feel a little bitter about coming so close but yet not getting the big prize? The bridesmaid tonight, I guess. Yeah. No, not at all. I mean, Tina, she did it. She won this thing, and she deserved it.
She did it. She did nothing.
Next to me that absolutely was the toughest competition, and she was it, and she showed tonight she played the game better than I did.
She did nothing.
She did that. Why do
You
think she won?
dragged her along and she took your money.
When you go into a vote like that, and you've got the jury sitting over there, and they give you their reasons, and they ask you questions, and they have that to base their vote on, and they pick that tells you. I mean, it's just, there's so many other...
I can't listen to this guy.
He's a douche. It's bumming you out.
It's bumming me out. It's like, dude, don't you see? You won everything. You won the immunity. You vote her off. They all hated Keith. You win.
He's still asleep, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he's sleeping so well, he never woke up during this game.
You want to sleep? Play the game right and take a Valium.
Now, let me ask something.
Oh, I'm so aggravated with this guy.
People hate Keith.
I'm aggravated.
That's why I can't watch. First of all, they're only going to get people who have watched the show before and are looking to get product endorsement.
Here's my prediction. You will be back next season watching it.
I'm not watching.
You will.
I'm breaking my TV.
I think Robert's going to end up on the island.
Put this in the time capsule.
I missed some shows along the way. Did people hate Keith so much that it would be guaranteed?
There were enough people there who were pissed at him about the rice, and he didn't cook it right. There was a whole bunch of things.
Everybody on his team hated him,
Yeah.
and the people who joined their team hated him.
And everybody liked Colby pretty much, except for like Jerry or somebody. Yeah.
Keith's got those like crazy eyes. Did you see that?
Yeah.
One goes this
He's
way.
disturbing.
Yeah, he's weird looking.
He's a disturbing
And
guy.
did you notice that he got the super jet black hair? You know, he's mixed
he should
gray
put the hat
hair,
back on.
and he went to the super jet black thing.
Yeah, they all dolled themselves up for last night. They all think they're going to have big careers. They all have agents. That's the funny thing. They all have agents. They think it's going to happen. They think it's going to happen.
But you don't think that Colleen's hot?
Colleen was hot compared to all the other girls on Survivor. You look at her in the movies now, she ain't hot
no
like, she ain't Meg Ryan. She ain't Penelope Cruz. I mean, that's what you want to see in a movie.
Yeah, you saw the Deuce Biglow guy commercial, right? But she looked hot there, no?
Nah, dude. Plus, they got her so dolled up, she doesn't look that good. She doesn't look that good.
I disagree with you there, man. Listen, Kimmy turned down $3 grand from us to get naked. I don't think anybody would pay a dime now.
Never.
Well,
Look,
Kimmy's different than
looking at
Colleen.
Colby's sack. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, what do you know about
I got it queued up. I'll show it to you later.
Colby's sack?
Yeah. It's
Colby's sack.
offensive. It's offensive.
No,
they should tell the guy to close his legs.
His sexuality. That's why he's so crazy.
I got to take a break.
It's an unspoken rule among men. If you notice a guy's sack, don't
What did you say that made him laugh?
I said he's questioning his sexuality because he's so angry about the sack. He must have got turned on by it.
Yeah, he did. Of course.
He's angry.
It bothers him.
You're right. You could be a psychiatrist.
You know, I was getting a dance, and I was sitting next to Casey, and my knee started, rubbing against his. Yeah. And I was getting a little, and he didn't seem to mind, though. He had no problem with it.
He got wood. All right, we got to take a break. We've talked so far about two subjects, Survivor and scores. There's got to be other things to talk about.
Well, you said something about Richard Johnson and a lawyer, so.
Yeah. I got to tell you about that when we come back. We'll be back right after these words.
Hi, this is Kimmy.
I forget who else was on your season, but you said when you were out doing the tour, so to speak, that here. Wait, I'll try and find it in my notes. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know. I mean, it was really it was very much like high school in that
there were cliques.
There was cliques kind of, but then they'd switch
around. Who was in your clique? Were there some people who were nice to you?
Well, there was. I mean, me and Jordan were both underage, and then the next oldest one was 23.
Mm-hmm.
So
here, this is what you say.
What did I say?
Blake Lewis called Sanjaya. Blake Lewis was the beatbox guy, human beatbox guy, a disrespectful little kid who was disrespectful of people's boundaries and didn't have a father figure in his life.
What is that?
Lewis went on to say, why is this little kid that's just annoying on the show? I don't think he should have been on the show at all. It's just bad for television, terrible, terrible television. Did he say that about you?
He said that on a radio interview, yeah.
Yeah, now, in a radio interview.
Yeah.
Now, how do you deal with a guy like that after he says something to you? Do you walk up to him and confront him?
No, because it's not, I mean, on tour we were pleasant, it wasn't any kind of
But he dissed you. Why do you take that?
He dissed me, but it's not. I mean, it's his own deal. I'm not I respect him. He's an incredible beatboxer, and he's a great performer. So it's not he's got his
no one's questioning his beatbox ability.
You're very evolved, or wimpy. I'm not sure which here, but you're very evolved to say, "Hey, that's his opinion, and I don't care."
I could beat up everyone who had a bad opinion about me, but it's not. I mean, there's more important things to fight about.
You, all right. Well, he's more involved than I am. I would have gone up to this character and I would have said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Fat beatbox lip.
Yeah, and then he would have beaten me up. Let's go to Gay Ramon, who wants to say hi to Sanjaya Sanjaya, I will play some of your music. I have one of your songs here. The book is called Dancing to the Music in My Head, Memoirs of the People's Idol. It's in stores today. And you had some help writing this, I assume? You have a guy who works with you? Sanjaya's album, Dancing to the Music in My Head, is available at Amazon.com. Gay Ramon, go ahead.
Hey, Sanjaya, how old are you right now?
I'm 19.
19. Hey, listen, I got a question for you. Have you ever had your sweet pink butthole eaten out?
Oh,
nope.
God.
Nice.
No, can I be the first? Oh, my God, you'll love it, puppy.
Well, Gay Ramon, I know
Sanjaya.
Sanjaya. You must get a lot of this, huh, Sanjaya, from gay guys. You know who's into Sanjaya and even went to his concert? Was High Pitch Mike, who just came out of the closet.
Yeah.
The guy said he wasn't gay.
He said he wasn't gay, but we all knew differently. Well, Artie did. Sorry, Gay Ramon. He says he's not swinging that way.
But he is gay, by the way.
He is? How do you know?
How do you know?
He is. I can tell how I'm gay. My gaydar goes far, far away, and I can tell he's gay.
All right.
Sanjaya, what about that? Any truth to the fact that perhaps,
Have you thought about a guy at all?
that maybe you're closeted right now, it's too hard to come out, that maybe in the future you might be coming out?
I mean...
Is it a family issue thing? Your family
No,
wouldn't
my
accept
family
it?
would be fine with it. I'm just not... penises are weird. Like, I'm not...
Sounds like the right answer to me.
Yeah, no, don't let your... I'm sure your parents have done things they're ashamed of. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, my family's totally supportive. If I came out, they'd be fine. I'm just not. Like,
Did you bring your mom with you on tour?
I brought my sister. My mom was on the show with me.
Okay, your sister came out with you. Is she jealous of you?
I don't think so. I mean,
Didn't
I'm
you
sure
both
there's...
try out for the show?
Yeah, we did. I'm sure there's some kind of, like, I don't know. She's older. I think that she didn't get enough, like, showtime. I think not enough.
I
people
wanted her to
saw.
get more showtime. I should have had a movement to vote for her. I like her very, very much.
Thank you.
So let's take a couple of more calls. Irish John, you're on the air. Go ahead. You're on with Sanjaya. He was a finalist. He got to number 7 in American Idol 2 seasons ago. Go ahead, Irish John. Oh, that's not Irish John. Oh, it's Eric the Midget.
You picked up the wrong line.
All right. Well, Eric the Midget, go ahead. Eric
Are
the
you
Midget.
aware of Eric the Midget?
I've not enough to know.
He's one of the biggest Idol fans there is.
He even does his own Idol radio show, which is probably the worst radio show in the history of radio.
A little shithead lives in California.
Right. Eric, go ahead. Your question for Sanjaya.
Yeah, and Artie, you're the world's biggest shithead. Shut up.
You're on with Sanjaya, your dream.
Go ahead, Eric.
Although, Eric, I got to be honest, you used to trash Sanjaya on your
Yeah,
show.
he hated our movement.
Right. You were against the movement.
Right, but I didn't have the show back then.
I see.
Show I started during last season.
What does
All
that
right.
got to do with anything?
Who cares?
Well, because Howard just said I trashed Sanjaya on my show, which this show didn't exist.
Oh, you trashed him on this show.
Oh, this show, yes.
Yeah, where people could hear it.
Right.
I guarantee this week there will not be any technical problems on our JFSC.
This is about Sanjaya, not you.
Did you have a question for Sanjaya?
There is Eric right there, Sanjaya. You can see him up on the screens, yes. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
Not really.
Oh, all right. Think about it.
bye.
This is Sanjaya's time to...
Gives a fuck.
So, when your mom goes to jail, where is your dad?
Well, they were divorced. I was actually living with my aunt.
And then you drop out of high school?
I got my GED to do American Idol because my choice was either be enrolled in a high school and get tutored 3 hours every day, or get my GED and just do this. So I figured do the music thing.
Well, that's not so easy when your mom goes to jail like that. And you're living on your own almost, huh?
I didn't know that it happened until after it was over because, like I said, I was living with my aunt. So.
All right. Let's go to Jeff the Drunk. Jeff the Drunk wants to say hi to Sanjaya. Yes, Jeff the Drunk for Sanjaya.
Hello, Sanjaya.
Hi.
I voted 5,000 times for you.
5,000.
He did, actually.
5,000.
Yeah, he was drunk and he did what he had to do.
And I listened to my boss.
Right.
Later.
All right, thank you. And we'll take one more call for Sanjaya. Let's go to Rick. Rick, you're on the air.
Hey, Sanjaya. I think girls of Indian descent are really beautiful, but I can't stand tons of pubic hair down there. So I just wanted to know, culturally, are girls allowed to shave down there? Indian girls allowed to shave down there?
He's only half Indian.
Do
Indian girls shave down there? Why wouldn't they be able? What do you mean, a religious thing?
Yeah, is that a culturally religious thing?
I don't think that they have anything against shaving down there that I know of.
All right, let's go to... That's the silliest question I've
the
heard.
craziest question.
All right, let's go to Mark. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, now.
Hey, now. You've never seen your sister naked, I hope, have you?
No.
You never have?
Like when we were like tiny in the bath, but not
That's it?
anything like...
Too bad. I'd like to ask you some questions about that, but since you don't have any expertise in that area, I'll...
My bad.
Yeah.
Ask all you want about Frankie Footlong.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
Peace and love, peace and love.
Peace and love.
There's no way Sanjaya is straight. There's no way at all.
Why do you say that?
Artie's got to throw something at him to get him out of the closet.
No, yeah, well, I only do that to staff members.
Sanjaya, what's your gay problem?
What, Artie, you getting any gaydar going off? I mean, you're the expert on this.
I'm the expert?
Yeah.
No, I listen.
You knew High Pitch Mike.
Yeah, but I knew High Pitch Mike went to the Madonna concert.
I can't believe High Pitch Mike isn't even here today.
Yeah, where is he?
He almost attacked Sanjay. He ran up to take a picture with him.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
And he's a big fan. Where are you, Mike? Get in here.
Right.
Mike's going to snip the couch when Sanjaya leaves.
Do you think American Idol's seen its best day, Sanjaya? Do you think it's over?
I don't know. It's hard to say because
Do you watch the show?
I do now more than I did before. Like, I watched it every once in a while. Like, I voted for Kelly Clarkson once because I saw her once and was like, wow, she's actually really incredible. But I was never really, like, every day all in it. And now I pay attention because I think it's important to see it, and it's fun to kind of watch it from a different perspective. But
you performed at a... all right. Did you perform at a bar mitzvah?
A bat mitzvah, yeah.
Bat mitzvah. Yeah. Now, how much dough can you get doing that? Can you make a lot of money being a bat mitzvah?
I mean, it depends on the father, really.
Right.
Depends on...
So what do? You show up, you do a couple of tunes, and you shake the kids' hands?
Yeah.
And you get a couple of bucks?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was beautiful. It was at a castle. It was,
well, a little princess.
A very good little Jewish girl.
Right.
It was a White Castle.
Yeah.
All right, let me hear what you're up to musically here. What is this song I'm going to listen to? Let's see here. We have, where do we have the clip, guys? Oh, here we go. Sanjaya. This is called, I don't know the name of this song. A Quintessential Lullaby. Is that it? Okay. Here we go. Let me hear a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing, well, a label...
Where's that character Clive Davis? Is he working with you or what?
No, I haven't worked with him.
Didn't believe in you, huh?
Well, he's busy.
He's busy with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a record company or what?
I'm doing it independently.
Uh-oh.
I have an independent label.
Yeah, you got to get a record company. Send it off to a record company. What are you doing?
I'm...
Get your shit together.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm just busting your balls. Listen, good for you.
Thank you.
You're doing your best. You're out there. You got the book.
Yeah.
They give you an advance on that?
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
What'd they give you?
A comfortable advance.
Did you get 6 figures?
Huh?
Did you get at least $100 grand?
I think so, yeah.
Really? Oh, look at you. That's not bad. That's pretty damn good for a first-time book.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Why do you not know for sure?
You're like, okay, sure.
It came in installments. And, yeah.
They add it up.
Yeah.
All right, Sanjay.
They're keeping me a little bit of distance from me and my money, so I don't do what I did with last.
Yeah, good.
So somebody's taking care of it for you.
Oh, yeah, be careful.
Who's taking care of your money? Bernie Madoff? Just be careful. All right, listen, save your money. Get out there, do your thing, be an artist, but be sensible
Any
about
acting
money.
aspirations?
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah?
all right.
What are you going to be in a movie with Jack Nicholson? What's next for Sanjaya?
I'm not sure. I'm just kind of riding the wave.
All right, if a guy wants to hire you to do a private personal appearance, it's you and him at his apartment.
Private personal appearance.
How much does it cost?
Is this a proposition?
No, not from me. Fred asked me to ask you that question. Fred, do you want me to ask that?
What kind of a deal is this?
Wants you to appear at his house, bathing suits.
He wants to watch you fuck a chick.
All right,
Fred loves a
listen.
chick.
Sanjaya's book, Dancing to the Music in My Head, Memoirs of the People's Idol. It's in stores today. He's here to tell us he's heterosexual, for those of you who are thinking he's gay.
Right, let's dismiss that.
He's got over a 6-inch hard-on from since he's 13.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's probably grown since then. Am I correct?
Possibly.
Possibly. You think you're at least 8 inches? You think you've grown 2 inches since you're 13?
I don't know.
Possibly.
It's possible. I don't
Wow.
know.
That's pretty good, Robin. And also you're here to tell us you're banging a chick currently?
He has a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend
of a year.
No one's seen her, but... So it was a good decision, and we learned that it was a good decision to go on American Idol. A lot of opportunities. And Sanjaya's book is called Dancing to the Music in My Head, Memoirs of the People's Idol. It's in stores today. And don't forget, you can get his album, Dancing to the Music in My Head, available at Amazon.com.
Yep.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, finally.
Yeah, finally.
time.
Yeah, we always wanted you on this show. And say hi to that sister of yours.
I most definitely will.
Yeah, believe me, tell her I thought she was very attractive. What is she, a twin?
No, she's 2.5
Or
years
she's
older.
2.5 years older. Yeah, it's interesting. Robin, make sure.
Awesome.
What do you like about doing the show?
Just being able to be really real. Because, like, certain interviews you have to kind of be censored and be, like, yourself, but altered version is how
It's good to be able to say what you want, right?
So,
Now, how was it answering some of those questions? Well, they're a little tough at times, right?
yeah, but it was expected, so I had my guard up a little bit, but it went really well.
So you had a good time today?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, Ben, how was it to finally meet Sanjaya?
It's great. He's a nice guy. He definitely has a charm to him that I think comes across on the air and in person.
You've gotten manhandled for this guy, right?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Screaming his name
Yes,
out
normally
and-
when I'm mentioning Sanjaya, people tackle me and knock me down and everything.
Sanjaya, how is that, man? This guy would scream on, CNN for you and all the news channels.
It's awesome. I mean, I'm flattered. I am honored to have someone that would do that.
I'm flattered and honored also.
You make a nice couple.
Guys, look at me right here. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's
Cool, man. Hey, nice to meet you. It's great job on the show. Can't wait to see the book.
More and more women, though, say that they break up with guys because they check their texting or their emails and shit.
Beth told me she would.
Yeah, I mean, that's a private thing. But, like, with me, like, and I could see why it's so tempting to some guys if they're insanely jealous, because even I would know how to, like, if my girlfriend or something left a cell phone there or a BlackBerry, even I would know how to go through their texts.
Yeah, how would Sal have ever found out his wife was messing around with a guy, you know?
Without that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
143.
Yeah, see, you don't have to get a phone call. You just put in 143 and everything is said.
Yeah.
That's the greatness of text.
I mean, Sal did a shitty thing, like observed his wife's email, but then again, he found out she was fucking around.
Yeah, well, if you contact the cell phone company, you can get a printout, an itemized printout of every single text.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like someone did that.
But not the dialogue, but every time it was sent and every time it came back. Every
because
single
you're
one.
the guy who pays the bill, and you may be saying, "Hey, I think my bill is wrong."
That's exactly it. And I requested it. And the crazy thing was, when I was in Disney after I got shot in the ass with a paintball gun, when I reviewed the paperwork, every time she was free, she was texting this guy. So she was at the pool, and to see that we're on vacation, and there was like 40 minutes worth of text in it, it was just...
She was like, he was on her mind, even though she was
While
on this
you're on vacation.
Yeah, I went fishing with my sons, and she was at the pool at that time.
And they were texting back and forth.
So when I went through everything, yeah.
But Sal, you'd get a divorce if you had enough money to do it.
I don't think so.
No, bullshit.
You know why? You know everything that I've worked on, Howard, and I got this far. What am I going to do? Say that I'm going to leave her now? It just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, leave her and what? And have a woman who's into you?
Why have a woman who's into me? I mean, what's the point to go on with?
Because you'd have a nice home life. And
Think of all the money you'd save at the booths. Seriously, like you're at the booths because there's a hole in your life.
Right.
Yeah, but think of the money you'd
I'm at
waste
the
on
booths.
broads.
I'm at the booths because they have porn there you can't get anyplace else, and it gets me off.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, I haven't gone.
You can't get the porn anywhere else but at a booth? I mean, a booth that's a very bizarre thing in this day and age when you can get porn right over the internet.
It's live.
You can't carry the internet. I can't carry my laptop on the train and jack one out. So, I go across the street to Penn Station and I toss one off, and it's like a sleeping pill. I pass out on the train.
Wow.
The only thing is that I talked about this on the air, and one day I came into Penn Station, there was a cop there. It was like, "Hey, Sal, you just left the booth." And it was like, oh, it was so embarrassing. This cop is shouting it across Penn Station.
Don't worry, the cop just left the booth.
What kind of porn do they have in the booths that you can't get?
Oh, they have everything, man.
Like what?
Just like real sick stuff. Well, they have animal sex, which it's really like girls blowing German shepherds and stuff like that.
Against the law.
Me too, but it's in there.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you what.
A lot of pee porn, a lot of poop porn.
I know you're really
not into poop and not.
Yeah, but you really are into some kinky fetishes. Like I can't watch any of those fetish films. They gross me up, but you love it. You love people spitting on each other.
I love spitting. I love the spitting.
Wonder what that's about.
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
Anger.
No, there's no anger on my end. There's no anger.
Supposedly, you should get an iPhone because you can load your porn right onto the iPhone and beat off on that.
Well, that's what I have it. I have it on my video. You bought me for Christmas a video iPod, and I put all my porn on there. Well, a few porns.
So then maybe you can just use that.
I do. I have done that. Like on the planes, I'll take the video iPod into the bathroom once in a while.
Oh, my God. Aren't you glad you got him there?
Well, I can't fly first class and have a $100 glass of wine, Robin, so I got to toss one off in the can.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. What am I supposed to do?
I could never beat off on a plane.
That's something I've never even done.
I don't even think I could beat off like if I was on a private plane going to Vegas and doing a show.
I remember one time I beat off on a plane. I was coming home from San Francisco with Levy. I didn't even wash my hands, and I patted him on the back when I was done.
Oh, you see.
But I told Richard I was going to do that. Richard tosses off in the can all the time, in the bathrooms, too.
Oh, that's so gross.
But when you're bored out of your skull, what are you going to do?
Read a book on the plane.
You know how many... the only difference between me and you, Howard, is that you're a gentleman enough to say on the air that you don't do it. It's like a girl says she doesn't diddle her
You
pussy.
don't believe that he doesn't jerk off on a plane?
I find it very hard.
I've never done it
Dude,
either.
in my life, it would never go down. First of all, I'd be so afraid there was a camera in there. I would just be like, and also it's so dirty and disgusting. It's like
It's dirty in there.
It's the
I
least-
get out as soon as I can.
it's the least sexual place ever. Like when I'm on a plane, I'm not thinking about sex. I'm just not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of it. But this doesn't appeal to me. It just sounds perverted.
Well,
it's
desperate,
and it's dirty in there, and it's gross. And you're standing up, and
you're also talking to a guy who's been married for 10 years and hardly gets so it's a little tough.
I was married for 20
been
years.
Single and married and everything else, and he's never done it.
Yeah, believe me.
What is the strangest place you've masturbated in? I think you said your mom's bed once, right?
Well, as a little kid, yeah.
Right. So that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I was a little kid, and then I didn't even know how to do it.
That was where the TV
I ended up
was.
peeing on myself.
Did you?
Yeah. I was a kid. I didn't know what I heard about jerking off for the first time, and I tried it. And then I said, "Well, something's supposed to come out." And I pissed.
See, that would have turned me on.
What?
Sal and I jerked off on the same flight.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Not together though, one after the other.
Well, hey, Sal, did you just jerk off?
I came during the turbulence.
I'm gonna.
Artie, so he's ready to throw.
I mean, listen, I'm a slob too, but I would never do something like that either. I
Who
don't
went
know.
first? Like, whose idea was it? And then all of a sudden you went, "Hey, that's a good idea too."
I think Richard went first, and then I said, "I'm going to go jerk off, not wash my hands," and then tap Levy on the back when I got, and that's how that went down.
It's so relaxing, because I get nervous on a plane, and that's one of the only ways. Drinking and jerking off. I'm totally relaxed.
But now you do sound retarded. There's no other way in the world a human being could relax.
No, I've tried, what's that drug that you relax with?
Xanax?
Xanax, and it didn't do a damn thing to me. But
That's
jacking
true.
off.
I gave Richard 4 Ambien once on a plane. 4. And he didn't go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, gee, that's a great story. You guys jerking off together.
Richard, I jerked over Idaho.
Are you done?
You ever get...
Sal revealed that he once jerked off in his bathroom closet while his aunt took a shit.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I didn't come to completion though, pretty much.
That's
aunt
good.
is shitting.
That's normal.
I mean, it turned you on that your aunt was shitting?
It was my cousin.
Oh.
In that one.
And she turned you on when she shits?
No, I was just hiding behind a louvered door that you could see out. You know, it was a closet with towels in it. So
Sal's always hiding.
I know.
98% of Sal's sex is in hiding or in the dark.
I know.
I just don't even know what to think.
You know how dogs go out to hide when they take a shit? They go to.
And
That's
be
me with
honest.
my penis. I'm like a little dog.
That's what I'm thinking. You're like close to an animal.
Well, let me ask you this, Robin.
Well, he
You're
is, yeah.
sexy. What's the strangest place that you've masturbated in?
In bed.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally where people do it.
Be honest though, Sal. Did you jerk off at Mutt's when you smelled the pants?
No, and that's
He did.
I swear on my children, number one, and number two. That scenario didn't go down like as a sexual thing.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Sure.
By the
All
way,
right,
panties
guys.
don't turn me on. They just don't. The strangest place I jerked off in was in a tanning booth when I used to go tanning in a tanning bed. Because it was I'm sorry, Artie.
I mean, look, I don't go tanning, but I would stop if I did go now.
When I was 17, we had a membership at a racquetball club, and you had the tanning bed for free. I didn't go for the racquetball. I figured out it was cheaper to get a membership and tan. So it was like a 45-minute bed there. So it was so goddamn boring. What I would do is I would prepare myself. I would go to the bathroom, get as much paper towels as I could, and then I'd just lay there, toss one off, and then pass out in the tanning bed. And it was very relaxing.
Yeah, but then what if somebody
First of all-
finds you?
Oh,
No, you were locked in. It was you're locked in a room. So it was just
Did
you
any,
and the-
any of your spooge get all over the
No,
tanning bed?
no.
Yeah,
'cause
sure.
I would make like a turban around my cock. You know.
A turban around his cock. A cock turban.
You wrapped your cock in
Yeah,
towel.
and then it would just pull off like a little helmet because it was like paper
You
mache.
made like a mold.
Yeah, we make a mold. Yeah, it was, and it worked great.
I think this schedule is finally getting to Richard, man, because Richard looks unhealthy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the belly.
He put on 22 pounds.
I did over the holidays. I'm trying to lose it, though. I'm eating healthy. They have
No, he's not.
They have Fresh Direct machine upstairs here now.
What's that, Fresh Direct?
It's like healthy meals you can buy. They're like $8.
What is fresh? I don't know. What
Upstairs here?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Artie should go check it out.
I should. I didn't know
In the
about
break
that.
room,
But
yeah.
what kind? But you look. And look. Believe me, I look awful too. But you look run down and like heavy and bloated.
Well, I'm not.
He's also an alcoholic.
Yeah, it's true. You know that the kind of boozing you do, that really fucking takes.
Yeah, it's
makes
taking
it
its toll. You're starting to look old.
Really?
Yeah. You're letting it all happen, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get out of control last weekend with booze, did I?
Well, he got to the airport 2 hours early, and I didn't even think about it. I forgot because we haven't traveled in a while. He goes, because I got to start drinking right away. So he gets right to the airport, immediately sits down, and his new thing is champagne and mimosas.
Yeah.
So he'll put away like 2 bottles of champagne in one sitting.
That'll put weight on you.
And then
Yeah,
he gets
no.
up, Howard, and you just start hearing like clink, 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 and it's a sandwich bag full of little booze bottles for the plane. And he brings that on the
You drink
plane.
2 full bottles of champagne and then you drink
And
little
then he has
bottles on the
finished.
plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a heavy problem.
I know.
What are you going to do about it?
No
No, it's,
wonder 4 Ambien does nothing to you.
but I don't drink that heavy when I'm not flying. Like this weekend.
Sure. Come on. We all saw you. We
You
see
must fly a lot then, because you look like a guy who drinks all the time.
He finds excuses.
Well, I'm Irish too, so
You got that red face going.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I, when the plane takes off, I have to have a drink, or it's a habit of mine. I don't feel
Stop flying.
right.
Yeah, maybe it's time to give up the road.
Well, that's why I took that train trip. So
Yeah.
Which you drank on as
Yeah,
well.
and he packed booze.
Sal, you would tan for 45 minutes? Isn't that dangerous?
It was
and
back-
weren't you afraid to fall asleep at a tanning bed? Like, I would just be
They have
paranoid that it
time,
might
wouldn't they?
They have time, but that could malfunction.
It could malfunction. One time I bought one of those cheesy pieces of shit lamps you plug in at home, It's like set it in
Tanning,
for...
is that important to you?
It was for a little while. Once...
Because you look so much better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I bought one of those lamps at home, and I did develop a few blisters on my face, and I never did it again.
Right.
It was like one of those heating lamps you see at McDonald's over the French fries.
Yeah.
That was on my face.
Oof.
And then I stopped doing... And that's when I got a little worried. And
Sal is so vain. Like when we went to Florida, he has to bring a huge suitcase just for 2 days to pack his hairspray,
his raccoon makeup.
And his hairspray leaked all over his clothes the other day.
It exploded.
It exploded on the plane, and it leaked out, like all over his suitcase.
Was he all upset?
Yeah, he was pissed.
Yeah, but okay.
Hairspray. You hardly have any hair. What are you spraying it?
I'm spraying whatever's left so it doesn't move around.
Oh my God.
But I'll tell you one thing. I
think you're that handsome?
No, I don't, but I like to look good. You look good. You mean,
Yeah, but I mean,
there's nothing wrong with being clean and manicured.
But hairspray?
Well, if I didn't have hairspray, my hair would just go straight down. I'd look like I'd look like a monk. Like that fucking guy from Dumb and Dumber. I like my hair to look decent.
I mean, the hairspray keeps it up like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Is there really anything wrong with? I mean,
but it's a
hairspray. Today's day and age.
And it's a special hairspray from Bumble and Bumble. Like, he won't use just any hairspray.
All right, so I carry, but you know what? I carry shirts and pants like a normal human being to a club.
Yeah, Richard doesn't even have to
Nothing.
pack. Yeah.
Nothing. One pair of pants, one shirt for a whole weekend.
That's disgusting.
That's if you're a man. That's all you need.
Don't you feel
if you're a caveman.
Don't you feel like changing once in a while and cleaning up?
No, I like the ease of just taking a duffel bag when you go on a trip.
I could, but you see, from years on the road, I've developed. I know how to get pants and shit into a duffel bag. I can fold it right. I mean, so say you do a show. And then you go back to the hotel room, you get undressed, and then what do? You sleep in your underwear?
Uh-huh.
You get up, you shit, and then
you wear the same underwear?
Same underwear.
Yeah. Same underwear. He wears the same blazer he wears on stage the next morning at breakfast. And then he wears it the same night. Like, I saw Richard, we did a show Friday night, and Saturday afternoon I'm having lunch with him, and I go, Richard, is that the same outfit as yesterday? He's like, yeah, what's the problem? Oblivious.
And he doesn't bring a toothbrush either when he travels for the weekend, right? You
I'll
don't bring
never
a toothbrush.
forget it.
They have them at hotels usually.
No, you don't use a toothbruch the whole weekend, do you?
It doesn't, no.
Be honest.
Yeah, I usually skip that on the weekends.
Howard, we're in the hotel. And
that's
Does his
unreal.
breath just stink?
It doesn't smell, though. I think it's all the alcohol kills the germs.
The vodka, yeah.
When you wake up, isn't your mouth all pasty and you just want to clean it and clean your teeth?
Yeah, but then I have a coffee or a Coke, and it's fine.
And then it's stinking Coke and stinking coffee mixing together.
We're doing a show in Illinois.
It's so gross.
We're doing a show in Illinois one weekend. And we have to leave, and I'm brushing my teeth, and Richard goes, what the hell are you brushing your teeth for? We're on vacation.
Yeah, why take care of yourself?
Vacation from teeth brushing.
It's a burden.
You had more than 18 cavities, man. That's
I
how
did.
fucked up you are. 18 cavities.
I got them filled, though.
Yeah. There's going to be more on the way.
Have you been back to the dentist since then?
Once, yeah.
What did he say? You need to take better care of your teeth.
Yeah, they scolded me for not flossing.
Flossing? You're not brushing. You're not. I mean, don't you? When food gets caught between your teeth, don't you want to just clean it out? Like I carry toothpicks. I mean, I just
don't notice that stuff like most people. I guess.
Wow.
How do you not notice it? How do you not notice you feel clammy and disgusting?
I don't know.
Well, it's I even took Sal to my old house in Florida, my warehouse.
Shit.
When you live in a warehouse for 8 years and you shower once about every 2 or 3 weeks, when you shower once every 3 days, that's like living the high life.
Where would you shower?
He hosed himself off. Don't you remember?
Oh, that's right. But back then, didn't you think about, like, now you got a girlfriend, and God knows I don't know how. But
she's a saint.
She is. But back then, first of all, she's going to wise up to it. You got to start washing yourself. but back then, would you ever try to get abroad? I mean, like, were you showered for 3 weeks?
You know what? After about 5 years of not getting laid, I gave up, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to be a man. I'm not going to shower. I was kind of doing it in protest of women because I was so angry about it. I used to love like walking up next to a hot chick at a bar and stinking and stuff. It's kind of my way of saying, you know what, I don't need
Your kind of way of admitting you're gay.
Yeah. Well, no, I was an angry guy because I didn't get laid.
You didn't get laid for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
You're not an angry guy.
But you weren't getting laid because you smelled. It was self-perpetuating.
Well,
and you didn't brush your teeth and you looked disgusting.
After a while, that's the reason, yeah.
After a while, I think that was the reason from the very beginning.
When's the last time you showered now?
Sunday, I think.
Sunday.
If you have to go,
no.
After that question, you're fucked.
Wait a minute.
You're a pig.
It's fucking Thursday, man.
Is it?
Dude.
Nobody answers, to when's the last time you showered.
When did you shower?
My shower curtain was in the wash. So
shower curtains in the wash?
Yeah.
Just buy a
The
new
shower
one. How
curtain
much
The
is
shower curtain gets the shower.
Shower curtain's like $3. You
No,
go to
I like
fucking Walmart.
I got a nice one with like a painting on it and stuff, and I washed it. And I didn't want to get water all over the bathroom.
There's a painting on your shower curtain.
And it takes 3 days to get your shower curtain washed?
Yeah. Well, I do drop off laundry. So.
Wait,
They make these liners, Richard, that cost $2.
Yeah, it's called a liner.
It's
That's
Thursday.
the thing. It's a liner. That's what Robin's
Uh-huh.
talking. That's what I'm talking about. In other words, you have the regular beautiful shower curtain, and then behind it is a plastic liner.
Oh,
the plastic liner is like $3, $5.
I'll have to pick one of those up.
Yeah, and it lasts for months, and then you throw it out when it starts to get
when you take
shit
it in,
on
you
it.
get another one.
Months. It lasts for years.
Right.
Most families.
Or maybe take a bath if you have to get rid of your shower curtain.
Yeah.
Wash your balls and
Like-
your asshole.
I just always, I get busy with something. I'll be working here or at home. I'll be playing guitar, and I just don't think about showering.
Richard,
It's like last thing on my mind.
4 days. It's 4 days. Like, how many shits have you taken since then?
Oh, probably 8. About 2 a day.
I mean, come on, 2 a day. Did, again, this has gone from like goofing around with Richard to where I want to call human resources.
You've taken 8 shits and you didn't want to wash your asshole out with water and soap? No. You like it. You like it smells.
He does.
He does.
There
He
is
loves
something
it.
manly about.
Do you like to put your finger down there and smell it?
I do. In
Yeah.
between my balls
Oh,
and my thigh.
Jesus.
I'm sorry for anybody that's eating breakfast out there, but there's nothing better than taking your 2 fingers, rubbing it between your nuts and your thigh, and you get that man smell,
You get a coyote smell, is what you get. A man smell.
What is that smell? Oh, that's man.
Like, what did you just
smell coyote.
Dude, you're almost 40. What did you just say?
It's like a musk. It's like natural.
That's like a cheesy smell.
Can we interview his girlfriend? Because there's no way she's fucking you.
She
like
must
that.
have had a stroke and has no sense of smell.
Well, I shower when we're together.
When you're making
intimately.
love.
Yeah.
How do you get the crust off? I mean, my God, you've been building it up for days.
I can't make love to you. I can't get the crust off.
I don't have a
Richard, do you
shower
know-
curtain.
Richard, do you know how little you've experienced with life? If that is like something you say, there's nothing better than. There's nothing better than doing what you just said.
Right, 2 fingers
Well, yeah.
between the balls and the teeth.
I'm a simple person. I enjoy simple things.
There's thousands of things within a block
Right.
of the studio that are better than that.
Well, I enjoy that
Yeah,
too.
why
but
is he in New York City when that's all he needs?
So your girlfriend doesn't shower either, I guess. 'cause
No,
then
she does.
But the shower curtain's not there, so
yeah,
she's...
she got water all over the floor. She just put a towel down.
Does she live with you?
Uh-huh.
So
she
you-
has
you
for
don't-
2 or 3 years.
So
yeah.
you don't fuck?
God.
You don't
Yeah,
fuck
that'd
but
be-
Sunday through
So
Thursday?
she's smelling you for 4 days, stinking.
I thought she only saw you occasionally. She's living with your
Oh, yeah.
unwashed ass?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah.
She
She's
doesn't
cool.
say
She don't mind.
shower?
She likes the smell.
Once in a while, she'll say, you got to get in the shower. She'll smell smell my breath. She'll tell me when I need to brush my teeth.
Like a dog, you take it down for a cleaning. After you get a whiff of shit in the house, like time to get the dog cleaned. That's
Richard,
what
Richard.
it's like with him and his girlfriend.
You guys sleep in the same bed?
Uh-huh.
So I mean, wouldn't you like to just like? Wouldn't if it's like I don't know? Do you plan? You're young people. You plan every fuck that you every time you fuck.
He fucks her all dirty like that.
Yeah, I mean, on a Tuesday night, you never roll over and go, "Hey, I'm a little horny," and you try. I mean,
If I do, then I jump in the shower first.
that's
Sure,
good.
sure.
Now
First
scrub down.
First of all, you don't. Second of all, who wants to go through that? Just be clean all the time.
Yeah, guess what?
too
You'll be
hard.
prepared all the time.
Come on, honey,
Yeah.
blow my smelly balls.
It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
If,
I bet you
if you
she's-
don't smell
I
anything,
bet you she's
it means
blown
I
him
want
after.
sex.
I bet you she's blown him after 4 days of not brushing his teeth and
sure.
cleaning his balls and ass.
Right.
I bet you she has.
He subjected her to everything.
That's the truth, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know when I shower and when I
Stick
don't.
your finger in my smelly ass.
Nothing better than that.
And then
No.
she's a drinker too, right?
Not like me, no.
You want to smell something good?
To me, my favorite things are drinking and smelling my taint and balls.
You've talked about doing that, Howard.
Yeah, but I mean, I've done that like coming out of the gym and stuff to check that I'm really
And
rank.
then he goes and takes a
Then I
shower.
then I bathe down, dude. I'd shower at least once a day, if not twice.
You should, I mean, or jump
Yeah.
in the Hudson or something.
Yeah, that's cleaner.
It's cleaner than me, yeah.
I don't know. That's really gross, man.
That is El Stivo. I wake up in the morning, the first thing I got to do, even before anything happens, you brush your teeth and get all that shit out of your mouth. It's grimy after a night of sleep, and I don't know how you go days. It's weekend. I don't have to worry
just
about
take
it.
some coffee.
And
Weekends, I like to relax and not brush my teeth.
We're on vacation. Why are you brushing your teeth?
And how
Sal,
often-
what are you doing?
It's Martin Luther King's birthday. I'm not brushing my teeth.
Hey, and
Every
how
day's a
often?
holiday.
How often is he doing that shit here and then touching everything?
I don't go near him.
Well, even if he hasn't done that shit, he's done it at some point and not washed, and he's touching everything.
I say hi to Richard like from a distance. Like I'll look into Richard and Sal's room and I
Wait.
just go, "Hey guys," and then I just walk right
Yeah, I
by.
stand at the door. I don't go through the
You
threshold.
used to come in our studio every morning. And
Not anymore. Once you
that
started telling
changed.
me, yeah.
Yeah, at one point it smelled like a locker room in there.
Well, this asshole would go to karate, and he would bring his gear in the morning because he would go to karate after work later on, and he never washed it.
Yeah.
So he would hang his filthy, sweaty, piss-smelling robe in our studio, and it just smelled like a locker room.
whole thing
and he never, ever
Someone
washes
told
it.
me he left his bag for his gym bag
Mm-hmm.
with clothes in it for 2 months, and they opened it up. It smelled like a dead body.
Oh, it did.
Oh.
But he's still wearing those clothes. Like that dead body smell doesn't affect Richard. He'll just go in there, put that dead body shit on him.
Did anyone complain
and-
at your karate school or?
Nobody has yet. No.
Oh, you still go?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You have to wash your gi.
I do every once in a while.
Richard, you're gross. Really, it's not. You should move
And
out
he
of
doesn't
New
care,
York
Artie.
City.
There is no way of embarrassing him into
He's not
being
embarrassing.
better.
He's if you notice, he
loves it.
smiles when he
like a
admits to all
retard.
that.
He loves it.
He likes it.
It's a manly thing to me.
But did you
I'm
ever
sorry.
hear us fucking with Wendy the retard when we go, do you ever smell your own shit? Yes. You're the exact same interview.
Except he's not retarded.
Well, I don't
hope I'm
know.
not.
Well, there's
And by the
an
way,
argument
there's
there.
no way you're doing a lot of karate. I mean, you have an enormous belly now. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no way you're
I'm not.
working out.
I'm not doing it as near as much
Yeah.
as I should.
Right.
And my diet gets crazy on the weekends with Chinese food and pizza and stuff like that.
You need a size 50 black belt.
It's like Elvis.
I'm the size of a dojo
I
now.
could barely lift my leg like Steven Seagal.
Toward the end, Elvis was wearing a cape with like a little superhero cape, and he had those bell bottoms that were too short. It almost looked like a cross between like a Star Trek uniform, like when Kirk wore those pants and they had those bell bottoms.
Right, it's jumpsuit.
Yeah, it was a cross between Superman and a Star Trek uniform, and then he was so fat, and he paid a karate instructor to give him a black belt. Like he just wanted the black belt. He didn't care if he had the power to
And
back
then
it
he'd
up.
do the poses on stage. That's all he could do.
He'd do his kata on the stage while he was singing Suspicious Minds, and then he'd be doing his, Shotokan, pose.
And try to kick his leg up.
Yeah.
He looked like Artie in a white jumpsuit.
It was
Sal-
like Chris Farley doing
right.
karate.
Sal, didn't you try karate and they humiliated you
Yeah,
or something?
a long, long time ago.
All right. All right, boys.
All right,
Fascinating glimpse into the world of Richard and Sal.
Isn't it a little embarrassing to
It is,
for Howard
but-
to be calling you, filthy and smelly, and then your buddy over here is piling on?
I know. I mean, you work here for enough time, and you try not to let things phase you.
But I thought you were brushing regularly and washing more often.
I am.
'Cause we talked about this a while back. What you did with Howard, and it seemed to have had an effect on you a little bit.
A little bit, but old habits are hard to break, and I'm 34 now. I'm getting old, and I have habits, bad habits, and that part of that's not brushing and showering and stuff. And I get busy. Me and Sal are busy guys. We got prank calls to make. We got
songs to do,
balls to sniff, and sometimes showering's just not part of my schedule.
Just think, if Richard was showering while we were at a department store recently, we would have never recorded the new bit,
Yeah.
Nicholas Gers.
Yeah.
So, you got to know what your priorities are.
Or if
in the
I was
workplace.
showering while we did the retarded flu call, that call would have never happened.
Right. Or if he was showering when he did Brown Mounds, it would have never have happened.
If I was showering right now, you wouldn't be getting this interview.
Right.
So what should I do? Do this interview or go shower?
You're right. You should
shower.
not shower, I guess.
Tim, do I stink really? Smell me.
Just got handed a note out in the hallway, for those of you who are following anything that happens in the hallway.
Yes.
Ronnie, the limo driver / security guard, just got woken up in his chair by Sal banging cymbals near his ear.
So he does sleep out there.
Yeah, they caught him.
What's his thing? He's supposed to be the guard.
We'll have video in a second. It's really funny.
I always love that. I'd love to see that. Well, good. Wake his ass up. He should be guarding me.
He's not happy.
What did he do?
He's not
He
happy.
slammed the door, and now he just left the compound.
How could he be upset? He wasn't doing his job.
I like that he's upset.
So who's protecting anything right now?
I mean, he
we're
left.
on our
If he
own.
left the compound.
Yeah, why would he leave the compound? He's supposed to be guarding me.
He might have gone to change his diaper.
Probably shit his pants.
Yeah.
It's the second time this month. Oh, here we go.
Fred needs audio.
I've got it.
Oh, there's Ronnie sleeping. Well, he's out cold.
Yeah, and he says he doesn't.
Second time this month they caught him sleeping. Uh-oh, here they go.
Oh, my God.
Oy vey.
He hit it.
All right, man?
Oh, that's great.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of you motherfuckers.
Slammed the door on them.
Yeah, but...
But he's sleeping on the job.
Yeah, is he sleeping so he can stay up late running around?
Because
Ron,
he
you
goes
can't,
out.
you can't sleep here, dude. That's really crazy.
I mean, that's your job. Even Artie knows not to sleep.
Knows
Boy,
that Ronnie can't sleep.
God, sleeping sounds so
There's
good right
certain jobs you can't sleep through.
I got to see that again. When's that going on Howard TV? The fans need that one.
That should be on tonight.
I love Ronnie.
I'll be on one of tonight's Daily Show.
On tonight's show?
It'll be on tomorrow night after midnight.
Oh, tomorrow night after midnight.
I love Ronnie stealing all my fucking
listen,
bits.
Listen quietly, because maybe you'll hear him say something. There he is. He's asleep. Here comes Sal. Ronnie slams the cymbal.
He's trying to get him.
He tries to punch him, but he hits the cymbal.
Fuck out of here.
That's the...
Sick of you motherfuckers.
All right, man? Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of you motherfuckers.
And he slams the door like that's wrong to wake him up.
Yeah, I think Ronnie goes out at night now. You know, he's
That's
single
what I'm
Ronnie.
thinking, yeah.
You know.
Fooling around.
Good for him, man. But still, you got to get your work done. It's ridiculous, Howard. I'll talk to him.
Talk to him for me, Artie. I'm putting you in charge of that. Describe how he's going down the wrong path.
What do you want?
I just want to get your... I want to know why you fell asleep.
None of your fucking business. Maybe it's boring around here.
I just need to get a straight answer.
I need for you to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that's what he brought in?
Leave me alone.
I saw some stuff out there. Look at all the burgers again.
Look at these animals here.
Wait,
look
what?
at this.
What's
Look,
going
look,
on?
look in the
Wait, wait.
background. Look what's going on.
You could jump in.
Chris, so for people who don't know the radio business, it's very rare to get free food. So right here at the end of the show on Thursday, Bobby Flay and his people were nice enough to send up a bunch of free burgers. As Salas told everyone, taste like pussy. That's how good they are. And the entire floor.
Animals. They're like friggin' animals.
And
Look at 'em.
convened around our free food table.
Look at 'em.
Interns, radio guys, the Howard TV guys.
Animals.
The news people are here, and they're just, I mean, literally, as they were unpacking, the woman couldn't unpack the boxes. Everyone's crowding around her and shit. I grabbed the burger. Sal grabbed this for me. But I told Ronnie, I'm like, hey, Ronnie, take charge of this situation. You know, you got 8,000 people crowding around the table. Everyone's pushing each other. Shit's getting messy. You know, form a line. Do something. Keep the hall clear. But Ronnie fucking...
And he's
jack
not doing
shit.
that.
No, where the fuck did Ronnie go? He grabbed his burger and he fucking left.
Well, I've never seen. We've gotten food up here. You know, it's a rare occasion. This food just I've never seen food disappear so fast.
Ronnie, who's the first one to take a burger?
Well, Scott the engineer was the first one to circle, but he didn't take anything. He first circled, but he didn't take it though. The first one to take was Richard Christie.
Yeah.
What did you get?
Then Scott the engineer. But Scott was here first to circle. What's going on? He's going, are we, is this for us? Is this for us?
And he's back, look.
Yeah, we have one.
Oh, there he is again. Look at him.
Oh, really?
And we're building one in Paramus.
Look at him. Look at him sneaking his big arm in.
Right in the Bergentown Center. Yeah, Bergentown
No,
Center.
good. It was really good.
What would you?
Like.
My weird reaction is that you just think that you're a genius at everything. You're good at radio. That's it.
Tastes like a burger. It was good. Actually, it was one of the best burgers I've had for, I guess, this style. Which I don't know if it's like a fast food formula they have. I don't know. Is this like a takeout place only? If it is, it's really damn good.
Sal, how's that burger, man?
Well, the first day I got my iPhone, this guy, you know, said, hey, if you want to get porn on your iPhone, here's the website. And he sent me a great website.
You know what it tastes like?
You know what it tastes like? I have a site for it.
Tastes like your cock. Delicious.
Talking about it, the inventor of Siri, talking about taking your memories and your brain and putting it on a chip. Yeah.
How long do they keep this urine when you're being tested for steroids in the NFL or the Major League Baseball? Because
what do you mean?
They have retested a sample of Barry Bonds' urine.
Right.
And now they say he tested positive. You know, these are
You are
urine
kidding me.
samples they've been holding.
What? They keep the urine I mean, I would think they do the test and then they throw out the urine.
Can I come clean about something?
This urine is from 2004.
Wow.
I have a great revelation, and this is going to be one of those things where I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm gonna. I purchased urine.
You're kidding. When? When did you purchase it?
The day after I made that stupid promise to you.
Serious?
And I had to throw it the fuck out. I put it behind a bunch of liquor bottles.
Where do you go to get it?
Oh, a kid sold it to me.
Are you serious? Because I would think you could know someone who would just piss in a jar for
What
you.
happened was there's a bunch of kids in the town I grew up. They're all fuck-ups, but they're trying to get on the fire department.
Right.
So to get
Well,
on
why did you ask me to give you a urine test? And I even protested. I said, Artie, I don't want to give you a urine test. Why did you? Like, you were nuts.
Yeah, it sucked.
You know you would fail.
Well, no, I'd still be okay with it. I'd still be clean, except for Subutex liquor.
For Subutex liquor and what else?
Maybe weed.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're doing great.
No. I was
He's
next.
clean as
I
a
was
whistle.
next to somebody who was smoking weed, but
Oh.
that could fail. And you know, I don't know. I'm fine. I'm not on heroin, but I paid $500.
Oh.
And I told the kid he's trying to get on the fire department, you know, and he's like, yeah, this is brutal. I haven't smoked pot or done anything for 6 months. And
Oh, so he's going to get urine for himself. How
Yeah.
gross is it?
it's gross. I made him.
I mean, where do you? What did they sell it to you in a jar?
Well, he came over to my place, and I made him piss in the, you know, I didn't see dick in cup, but
Right.
He put it in like a Poland Spring bottle, and then I transferred it with gloves
Oh, my
to something else, and then I put tin foil around it.
Because it's so gross to look at.
Yeah, and then I put it in the back of a bunch of whiskey bottles, and then I just threw it out like last week. I forgot
So
I
what
had
part of you insists to me? I said to you, Art, you don't have to do a urine
because
test.
I was
don't
excited.
Want
I tried to make it sound like I'm normal.
Yeah, but
I yearn to be normal.
I know, but I told you you're never going to pass it.
No.
And, you couldn't pass a urine test ever.
Yes, I could.
Why
No,
don't
you
we?
couldn't.
Yes, I could.
When?
Just put Artie in rehab.
I'm not in rehab. Why?
Because
I'm
someone
fine.
I talked to someone about that,
Yeah.
and they explained to me Artie's got to want. You could, you know, there are people go. You know, everyone acts like rehab's the cure.
I'm totally
you could go,
fine.
You could go into
I'm
95 rehabs and still not be better because you got to want it.
Guys, I've been clean
Look at
off.
Steve-O. He fought it
Well,
at first.
Steve's a hole.
Can I just talk
Jesus
about
Christ?
Steve
The
O's.
guy's bleeding and throwing shit at the and that may I add, they waited till that happened.
Can I just talk about how it's just so funny because I want to go pull the tape of how insulted and indignant Artie was.
This is what's great about
when I
me,
said
guy.
I had to watch Artie pee in a cup. And he goes, "Are you insane? Do you think I'm fucking crazy enough to go, I'm going to buy urine?"
He fails his first drug test. I've already picked the date of his drug test.
But he can't know the date.
No, he doesn't know. Don't worry.
It should be every other day or so. What are you waiting for?
Why
Just
there's a special
get
day. You should be
Because it's
tested
random.
already.
It's random. It's random drug testing.
All right,
I'll
go
do
ahead,
whatever the
I'm
fuck you
going to
want.
randomly.
regular.
He doesn't know, and Gary's going to watch his penis in the cup.
No,
Go
he's
ahead.
not.
Yes, he is.
No,
Yes.
he's not.
Yeah,
Then
well, he
I-
has
then
to.
I'm
Somebody
not
has to.
doing
He'll
it.
bring out a
Then
whiz in there.
Then I'm not doing it.
They have
Then I
fake
quit
penises.
the
Then you got
show.
to walk in the room naked
Then I quit the
because
show.
you have to walk in naked
Not getting
because
naked. I
you're going to
quit.
get a bag of urine in there. You're
I'm going to get a bag of urine
in your
there.
pants.
Where am I going to
In
get a
advance.
bag?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll buy it.
You could frisk me before I go
People
in.
buy urine to pass drug tests.
Seen the
all time.
Whizzinator? It's a fake penis with a bladder.
Yeah.
I don't have the Whizzinator on. I
Sure
don't
you
have
don't.
your already. Where do I have it?
You think it's ridiculous for us to think that you might try to beat a drug test? That you wouldn't pay Teddy for his urine or something?
Teddy's not.
I'm just saying. I'm giving you.
Teddy's urine is way too
You know a
expensive.
bunch of people. You throw money at everything.
Then we'll have a girl.
I don't know one person who doesn't do drugs or drink. Where am I getting urine from? No, I bought urine before you accused me of buying.
Yes,
I did. But if you could go back to whatever those days are, I'm wearing a leather jacket and I have the urine in here in my breast.
Are you
pocket.
serious?
Yeah. So if you look at the tape, it might be like.
You could see
You mean
the
you were
urine.
carrying the urine with you because you thought we were going to do the
Yeah,
urine
he didn't
test?
know when the test was going to come.
You're officially
Oh
the
my
funniest person I've ever met.
I came in here.
Meanwhile, you weren't even clean
came
when
in
you
here
said I'm going
about-
to take a urine test.
Yes, I was.
Then why would you buy urine?
No.
If it was the next day.
I was worried that stuff would show up. Okay, very worried.
Art.
Stuff that you take.
But I haven't done heroin since December 24th.
But we
I
were,
haven't.
No, but we were giving you a drug test for everything.
I know. That's where I made a mistake. I should have made it just heroin.
Just heroin. I don't know if they make that test.
They do. You could just check for opiates.
Ignore coke or anything like this. So just
Yeah,
heroin.
you could.
Just
You
tell
could
us
see.
that there's heroin in
You
there.
could see specific stuff.
All right. Well, anyway, that's a very interesting revelation.
But I was always wondering about if the urine stayed.
Stayed good.
Because then the one guy said, you have a way to keep it warm because it can't be cold. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I would put it in a room with heat every.
Next to the boiler.
Did you really?
Listen, Howard, I'm crazy.
Oh,
but
my God.
I don't want, I want to keep my job here. It's very important to me.
But that wasn't a condition of keeping your
Yeah,
job.
it was just to go to rehab.
See, I had to say it, but that's how good of a person I am. I had to say it.
All right, let's go to Robin because
God,
that
I'm
sounds
sorry.
crazy.
Yeah, no, but the urine got real dark as the
Right,
days
it
went
doesn't
on.
stay good.
And I was like, does this even look like fresh urine?
Right. Well,
There were flaws.
I am shocked to hear that they saved his urine, but there you go.
The samples are believed to contain traces of the previously undetectable designer steroid known as THG or the Clear. It was called the Clear because it wasn't supposed to show up on tests. The New York Times reported last week that federal authorities had detected anabolic steroids in a urine sample linked to Bonds. However, it's unclear if that urine sample and the sample seized in the 2004 raid are the same.
Well, in interest to keep up with Artie on the show, I have a confession to make. In my jacket right now, I have a bottle of shit I carry with me.
What are you carrying that for?
I can't tell you exactly why.
Oh, and when Dr. Drew said the penis and cup thing, I had the urine on me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was going to take it out. If you guys made me do the test, I was going to take it out and put it on the table.
Oh, that's good.
I should have done that. Fuck.
Wow.
Well, we didn't test you.
You're really an addict.
No, Howard, I'm a dedicated worker.
Sorry.
Oh.
Who else? I'd break my ass. I'd break my ass ever since I was a fucking
You're in a dark place.
longshoreman.
Brother. You're in a dark place.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Yeah. You are.
But no, I'm okay. I'm okay, I think. Because if I can stay away from the hard shit, my life won't become chaotic.
But, Artie, are you going to drink?
Yes.
No, I haven't had a drink.
That's not true.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Okay, well, let's go penis and cup right now.
I have to watch.
I haven't. You ask anybody at my gigs, I'm totally sober. I'm fine.
Then why don't you take a real urine test?
Because the Subutex, I was afraid I couldn't stay off the Subutex long enough. And, every once in a while you might have a drink.
So you're saying there was no entertainment lawyer?
No,
Who called you and
the
said you
entertainment-
shouldn't take a urine test?
Yeah, he did call.
See, for once at least I didn't get fooled about that.
No, he did call me,
Yeah.
the guy.
Sure he
4 in the morning.
But he told me the second book deal was up to 1.5.
Harry, that is a great.
Does this surprise you?
No, nothing surprises me
Really?
anymore. Nothing. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore. But the only thing that I mean, Artie is the world's best liar.
That's crazy.
But although I wasn't buying into it, as soon as he said he didn't want to do it, I knew that there was something up. And when he got indignant about, what am I gonna buy urine? But the fact that he had it on him in his pocket
He was
while he's
walking around with a bottle
while
of
he's
piss.
yelling at me for saying, it's great. I said he's officially the funniest person I know. That is fucking funny.
Now, you obviously can't believe anything now after.
Oh, I stopped believing before, but this is. I think what he just said is actually one of the funniest things I've ever
You're
heard.
taking this pretty well.
No, it's funny.
Dude, so you're buying piss now?
Yeah, man, it's terrible. It's one step above buying shit.
Is that one of the low moments in your life?
No,
Buying urine?
No, the lowest moment in my life probably was, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Having dinner with DePace down at Point Pleasant with Scott and some of his kids. That was a low moment of my life. Drinking piss is second.
Let's have a moment with Steve Langford, who's really dedicated. He's a dedicated newsman. You gotta hand it to the guy. He takes his job seriously. Impressive. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
Is Eric the Midget's next public appearance soon to be a victim of this devastating economic crisis, or just a complete and total lack of interest in meeting the angry little guy? Eric's set to meet and greet his fans at a Sacramento Kings game February 27, but so far only 2 tickets for Eric's appearance have been sold, and the guy who bought those 2 lonely tickets, we are told, now wants his money back.
Is that true?
That's what we are told. A source in a position to know now telling Howard 100 News Eric the Midget's appearance is this close to being canceled.
Eric, I thought you said 200 people were going to be going to your appearance.
Well, Johnny hasn't bought the tickets yet. That's what the 200 to 400 tickets to be sold. They were going to be bought by Johnny.
Yeah, but I mean, if Johnny buys them, what's he going to do with them? I mean, that's how you're going to... So 200 people aren't buying tickets. It's just going to be Johnny Fratto bailing you out. What do you have to say, Steve?
Well, Johnny told us yesterday there is 0.0 chance of him buying any tickets to this.
Really?
Yes.
Eric, Johnny's telling the news he's not buying any tickets. How do you get that so wrong?
I don't have it wrong.
Steve said...
He said to me that he would consider it. Eric, the loser. And if the team was better than they are, then maybe people would come see this meet and greet. Eric, the asshole. Maybe if I was doing it for the Lakers, which I've asked Johnny to set that up.
Yes, Gary.
Hey, if you go to Gary page 1, this is a funny piece of tape. So this whole thing starts out where Eric calls Johnny Fratto at like 2:30 in the morning to say, "Hey, you got to buy up all these tickets." It's in the left hand. It's in the left hand corner. Don't play the first one. That's just Eric going on and on.
Yeah.
But Johnny calls back. It's the funniest thing because you can hear the baby screaming and wailing. Johnny's like, "Don't ever fucking call here at 2:30 in the morning."
The second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric, how in the world do you wake me up at 2:30 in the morning? You want me to buy 200 tickets? What are you, nuts? If you call late like this again, I swear to God, I'm going to get a fucking screwdriver, and I'm going to come up there and I'm going to take you apart. You don't call in the night, you fucked me up. I'm definitely going to get even with you now. All right.
What are you doing? The guy's a family man. You're calling him at 2:30 in the morning?
And bugging him about buying your tickets.
Eric, you can't be for real.
I am.
Why did you call him at 2:30 in the morning?
There's never been a problem with it in the past.
If someone calls your house past 10 o'clock at night, they're fucking rude. 2:30 in the morning?
And when you have a baby.
Oh, my
it's over.
God. Well, he does. He has another baby. He has Eric the Midget.
Eric, shut up, Midget.
You're a baby.
Well, you don't make any sense.
Jackass.
You don't call someone's house with your needs at 2:30 in the morning. It's a babyish thing. It's like behaving like a baby.
I mean, you're not even. It's not urgent to buy these tickets. You don't need to call him at 2:30 in the morning.
Eric, that's what you sound like.
It is urgent. I don't want this to be, another thing where no one shows up.
It's too late.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, it says here, Eric the Midget's forehead looks huge today. Let me take a look at that. Put it up on screen, guys. Whoa!
What happened?
Eric, what's going on? I think combing your hair back that severe is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a lot of forehead.
No one else fucking complain. Shut up.
No one else is honest with you. That's a lot of forehead.
And a lot of big blotch there, too.
Big, giant square blotch like that.
Shut up, you damn witch.
Like that guy who ran Russia for a while?
That,
big Weinstein?
Gorbachev.
Gorbachev, that dude.
Actually, it looks like a car peeled out on his forehead.
Yeah, like a tire track.
Like a tire track, kind of just when he takes off.
Eric, you're fucked.
And the
in every way.
the hair color that he's dyeing his hair, there's no real color like that.
He must have just done that.
That's a fresh.
There is.
That's a fresh dye job.
Yeah.
It's got to be. When did you dye your hair last?
Last Thursday at Frederico's.
Yeah.
So you're getting it done by someone now.
They did that at Frederico's?
Yes.
Wow. Did you say to Frederico there's no color like that?
There is color like that. It's in their fucking book, jackass.
Yeah, but we're talking about on humans.
Yeah, that's horse hair. That's almost clown red, actually.
Right.
I know a clown has hair. Like
I want Emmett Kelly red. I want to look like Bozo.
Is that what you told them?
Did you say you wanted to look like Emmett Kelly?
What?
Did you tell me you wanted to look like Bozo?
I look like Bozo. I want to join Barnum and Bailey.
Nah, it's a little too red, Eric. Trust me. You should go a little...
The way my hair color was when I was a kid.
You look like Heat Miser.
Yeah, but you're no kid.
I'm Mr. Heat Blister. I'm Mr. Sun. Da-da-da-da.
You're an adult male.
Yeah, you're Mr. Fat Ass. Shut up.
I'm Mr. 101.
What's going on with your forehead there with that big red square on it? I mean, I'm concerned. Is that psoriasis?
No, nothing's going on with it.
Yeah, okay. You're very red and blotchy.
But really, Eric, you know it's ridiculous to call Johnny to buy the tickets because that doesn't mean you're a success.
It looks like you walked into a freshly painted stop sign.
Why is it Johnny's responsibility to
you
Eric?
get yourself in these messes,
Eric,
and then he's supposed to...
midget.
Yeah, it's
bail
out.
you
It's out in the public forum here that you're asking a friend to bail you out, so it would be more embarrassing than canceling.
And so Johnny will have to get 200 of his friends to show up.
Did you hear the guy who bought the 2 tickets for your appearance wants his money back?
I don't fucking think so.
Steve, how do you know that?
An extremely good source.
Hear that?
Oh, whatever, you Canadian jackass.
The truth hurts?
Not the truth.
You ain't phasing Langford.
Well, Johnny's not going to buy those tickets, not after Eric wakes him up at 2:30 in the morning. I know that. Johnny is
I don't know how
not.
Johnny's still friends with him. He's so abusive.
Johnny's a saint.
Johnny's a wonderful man, but I think he's at his wit's end.
I don't know. It sounds like he's done that with a screwdriver before to other people.
Hey, why does the guy who bought the 2 tickets want his money back? Maybe we could get to the bottom of the problem that way. Do you have any ideas, Steve?
I don't have the answer on that.
You didn't say to him, why do you want the money back?
We'll have to look into that.
All right, thank you.
He came to his senses?
Wouldn't he have a lot of time with Eric? I mean, if he's the only guy who shows up.
It'll be a night with Eric.
Yeah, I mean, he could have exclusive time with Eric, you know. And this is a guy who gets $40 for just a phone message, so it seems like it would be a good deal.
And Eric, there's nothing worse than doing an appearance where it's 1 or 2, like, really obsessed lunatics who show up.
Which, by the way, visit my store at jfsc.tv/ETA.
By the way, you should know this. At my book signing over the weekend, someone asked me to sign a picture they bought off your website, Eric, and he, like, drew a bunch of cocks on your face, and
Really?
The cocks that Eric's sucking and.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
Terrible.
really defaming it.
I don't think you're allowed to do that legally.
I think for another
Throw
5.
a cock onto Eric's mouth.
Yeah, like big. It wasn't good art, but it was a cock clearly.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Yeah, and it has the cock.
Eric, how do
coming
you
on
feel? People are buying your picture and drawing cocks on your face.
That's not cool.
Right.
It looks better than the enormous red blotch on your head.
Actually,
Yeah, you're just absolutely enormous. Period.
Actually, you should sell it like that. I'd buy a picture of Eric with a big cock in his mouth.
Oh, I'd pay an extra 20.
Yeah, Eric, maybe you ought to start drawing the cocks.
Thank you, Eric, and appreciate the phone call. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good luck getting some midget pussy this weekend.
Artie, I'm surprised to see you here after this morning. I didn't think you'd ever be back in our wonderful studio.
I was dead to Gary.
You're
Hey,
back.
Gary, by the way, I think we made up, but what a show business move to say I'm dead to you. That's like a producer, like, Artie's dead to me. That's like what Jerry Bruckheimer says to you.
I got to be honest
one
with
of his charity hockey games.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not so sure we made up. I mean, Howard said we made up, but we didn't really. We never really made up.
I came in here today to really
tell 1/10 of the audience that heard you this morning you're sorry.
Well, what do you mean?
We don't have the listenership that
No. I said this today. I think I made this point today when I said that I came in there today mad and I wanted to say mean things because I was mad, and I said some things I didn't mean.
But see, you have to seriously. How do I know you didn't meet him?
That's me, man.
That's the tough part. Like you said,
me. It's like, you know what I'm like? I'm like David Niven in the Pink Panther. It's all a lie.
But it's so hard to tell.
You have to pick and choose. I've lost my credibility with you and Will.
And others. And I give Will some credit, at least, for having the balls to come in, because he's not the only guy that...
I like
No,
Will.
but Will's not the only guy that grabs my ear and says shit. He's just the only guy that had the balls to come in and
Who the fuck says shit?
A lot of people.
You both break each other's balls, but it seems like there's an underlying level of animosity between the two of you, and neither of you guys know where it's coming from.
No, John.
That's true.
And
it's true that there is, and it's true I don't know where it's coming from.
I was very hurt by what you said on the wrap-up show. And let me tell you something. If we replay that clip, I think I'd be justified. And if a coworker and a person who's supposed to be a friend says something like that about you, a blanket statement, he lies about everything.
But I didn't say. I said, how do we know if we could trust him? And the funny thing is, myself.
Let's calm down with that. Have I ever done anything to you like where I really, really betrayed a trust to you? Like really a bad fucking thing where like I fucked you over, man. Like, you know what? Artie fucked me over.
No, on a personal level,
okay,
no.
well, that's what it sounds like, though.
No, but how could you be so insulted that people might think you're lying about stuff? That's the part that's so ridiculous.
Lying about certain things is fine, but you're not getting my point. Not to take my word on anything is what pisses me off. That's a blanket statement about me as a person, not as a drug addict or a guy with a drug problem, saying you can't take my word about anything and that I lie about everything.
No, I don't.
Is bullshit.
I don't say you lie about everything.
Well, you just did.
And you know what? I didn't mean that. What I do mean is that everything is now in question in my head. That doesn't mean you lie about everything. It means everything's in question.
Then that's your problem, man.
But it's a problem that's not that hard to have.
It shouldn't be in question. It shouldn't.
And I'm not the only one. I give Will
you
credit.
Keep saying that. You're not
because
the only one.
Because Will's the only.
Let's talk about you. I'm talking about you.
I'm not sure when you're telling the truth. That's me talking. That's it. I keep saying it any other fucking way. I'm not positive when you're telling the truth anymore.
Tell me one time outside of like drug stuff you think I've lied to you.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it.
Because I've never done it, Gary.
I guess not.
Of course I haven't. You want to get on here and be interesting by just calling me a fucking liar. So I'm not taking it anymore.
Okay, you said how you feel, and I said it's tough to know.
All right, okay, good. It's tough to know then. I'm sorry you can't figure that out.
Listen, I'm entitled to an opinion, Artie.
Okay, then it's a dumb opinion. I'm entitled to
That's your opinion.
I'm entitled to think it's a dumb opinion.
And you're totally entitled to think it's a dumb opinion.
It's all entertainment, Gary.
But how do I know when you're entertaining me or not?
If you don't know that, then you are a monkey. What are you talking if I say something
So I
funny,
should know that you might have lied about not going to the shrink?
No, Gary, you're picking and choosing what you think is a lie and what you don't think is a lie. If you're going to admit that sometimes while I'm on the air in that forum, I'm trying to be funny, you can't take anything I say as gospel. And to be offended by it is stupid. If I come to you off the air and say something to you that's a direct lie that really betrays you, then that's a different story. And that's never happened. If you're fucking Ellen DeGeneres or Jay Leno, and there's a guy that writes jokes that get laughs every fucking time, but he's always an hour late. Sometimes he falls asleep, blah, blah, blah. But there's another guy who's on time every day, who looks neat and never has a problem or a drink in his life, and everything sucks. Who are you keeping at hiring time?
I don't know, because I've never been in that situation until now.
If you don't know the answer to that, Gary, then you're a dumbass, stupid motherfucker.
Thank you.
You keep the guy who writes sucky jokes?
Don't name call, because this is...
No, let him name call. This is how he feels.
There's a disconnect between, because you have been in that position. You have the man standing next to you is late a lot, and he works for you, and you haven't fired him. Why?
We threatened to fire him,
but you haven't fired him.
It was very close.
Do you feel any better after that conversation, Gary?
I feel physically exhausted, and I felt that way after this morning. It's physically exhausting, even though it's only words. I don't know. I mean, Artie and I came to sort of, I guess, an uneasy truce. But if Artie wasn't here, I would have come in and I would have said, you know, is Artie dead to me? Well, of course not. I'm going to deal with Artie all the time. But I don't know that we fully made up. Howard said we made up this morning. What I hope will happen is we'll just, try to start over again.
Artie claimed on the wrap-up show, I just heard this clip, they played you and Gary, I guess, fought for like an hour.
Oh, my God. I heard there was more fighting. Yeah.
Two battling bruisers. And,
it wasn't even a commercial.
You're kidding.
I don't think so. Not for like 50 minutes.
They went at it pretty good. It was very compelling. About whether Artie's like Artie is a liar, but Artie's point was, well, who doesn't lie? Especially if you're on the radio, you've got, and I thought about it. Artie is right, because
Artie's right about what?
Okay, Gary was upset. Here's the argument in a nutshell. Gary's upset because Artie lies about his drug use, and therefore lies when he says, I can't come in today, I got a stomachache, but it turns out he's battling heroin or something like that. So he's saying, how do I know you're not lying all the time? And Artie's saying, look, I don't lie all the time. If I didn't have a job on the radio, I wouldn't have to lie to you at all. The fact of the matter is that when you're on the radio, and I know I've been in this position, you got kids, you got, Artie's got a mother and a sister, and you're trying to convince them you're going to shrink and all this, and they think that you are going to a shrink, and that seems to give them some comfort. So then he gets on the radio and he goes, well, I can't tell everyone I'm not going to the shrink because then my mom's going to find out about it and it's going to wreck fucking my life.
It's sort of like the Bill Clinton lie about not having sex with Monica Lewinsky. You can't tell everybody because Hillary will hear.
Right. So, but Gary said, look, Artie, it's my prerogative to feel shitty that you lie to me. He goes, but Artie goes, but you lie to everyone too. Everyone lies on the air. It's like there are times you just have to. And so, they went round and round. But anyway, in the midst of this whole, hostility thing that these guys were going
This was a hostile argument.
And Artie's a dirty fighter. Sometimes he called, a couple of times you have no brains and you're a monkey.
Artie's very street.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Artie.
Artie gets really down in the dirt.
If you get into a fight with Artie, he's going to pull out all the stops. And he's
going to bite you.
I thought about this.
Gary was more of a gentleman about
it. Artie's the kind of, I see why his relationships fail.
Yeah.
Do you, Robin? You point that out to me?
Well, everyone can see that.
Yeah, because Artie immediately tears everybody apart, and then he wants to fix it by saying, I'm sorry, but people can't forget what's said.
I say things that you can't take back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You do say some bad things.
I've said some things to Dana that I can't take back.
But anyway, Artie was saying that he knew right away that I had a nose job. Very obvious.
Wow.
And that everyone, in other words, how I goof on Gary about his caps because we all knew.
That wasn't me trying to say it's not as serious as what I'm lying about. But for years, people would ask and you would say no on the radio because you had your reasons for lying about it.
He was waiting to get us to reveal ridiculous things so he could say, I have a nose job.
I agree that everyone on the, you see, look.
And 99.9% of the stuff I've lied about is drug-related, and it's all been on the air. It's like, how can you say any different?
I tried to explain it to Gary afterwards. I said, Gary, the fact is that when you're on the air, and I've made the best attempt I can at being one of the most honest broadcasters in the country, but there have been times, in order to protect some people in my family and things, I haven't, I've been less than honest. because you're on the air. It's a touchy situation. And you do have kids, and you do have, situations where...
Other people have not agreed to be so revealing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, when someone asks you a question and involves someone else, you're like, oh, how do I be honest here? And so you can't be 100% honest on the air unless you're insane.
And in terms of disrespecting the show, I love the show so much, which is why eventually I come clean, because I think that would be fascinating to people. Like, I didn't have to sit here and say I bought piss. I didn't have to say I did shit my pants doing coke in a pig costume.
So where do you and Gary stand?
I do that because I think it'd be compelling for the show.
Where do you and Gary stand?
Well, I called Gary Friday.
Oh, did you?
Because I did. I felt bad, and
it got heated.
It did, and we had a good conversation. And look, I apologized to him, and I even said there's no need for you to apologize to me.
Do
we
you
had a
think
nice
that's
talk.
the end of it?
I hope it is, Robin. I don't know. I'm in a bad way lately. I had an issue happen personally that was kind of shitty, and
when, this weekend?
Last week, and I don't know. Lately, getting out of bed, the depression has been like fucking. Like, I've had what I call 2 great depressions in my life. Where
Are you in one of them now?
it feels like I'm going into one where I might have to get some medication again, because
geez.
I just can't get out of bed. It's like a wet fucking blanket. It's just bad depression. Like all the symptoms I used to have.
Really?
So yeah,
you don't seem so depressed right now.
Well, he's working now.
I could. I've worked through the other ones too, but I don't know. I just really felt...
You ever been diagnosed like as bipolar or whatever they call it?
Bipolar is a word that's been used, yeah. But
so why don't you go on meds, and then if
I could tell
he was on them for a while, and he got better.
Yeah, they're leaving you out.
I took Paxil for a while, and I'll tell you, I got straight on that, and then I stopped taking it, and I was fine for years. I mean, it's like, it's that great Onion joke, depression hits losers the worst.
It was a big headline back several years ago.
I mean, that's just the best joke ever. And it's true, look, my career's going great, but there's other things in my life that isn't, and I'm depressed about it. I mean, it's like, if I was, Jim Dandy with everything, I think I'd be depressed.
Yeah, maybe you just suffer from depression.
Shit happens, and you get depressed about it, you know.
Well, hey, sorry to hear you're going through that.
But I'm all right. I'm here.
Yeah, you look good to me.
I think me and Gary, agreed to a truce. I think I call Will too. I call John Hine because John Hine got hit with some residual shit.
Really? He hit everybody.
He only got splashed though.
No, I just said I fucked on the wrap-up show, and I don't think John likes that.
Yeah, you said you don't like the wrap-up show. You said it's a bad broadcast.
Clearly, I love it. I'm always listening to it.
Would it be fair to say your professional life is annoying and your personal life is a tool?
It's all annoying.
Annoying. Everything's annoying.
It's right. Annoying. I forgot about that. Yeah, my personal life is a 1, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, well, there's a ton of email about this.
I'm sure.
Some attacking Artie, some attacking Gary, some attacking me for not sticking up for Gary, calling me a pussy because you let Artie walk all over Gary.
Oh.
Listen, these two guys had an argument. I told you where I stood on it. Gary has a problem with Artie. I don't. And even Artie said on the wrap-up show, if Howard has a problem, he'll come to me. But I don't. Artie said, Howard thinks it's funny when I fall asleep.
Gary and Artie, how did the falling asleep come into it?
Just everything got dragged.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Gary said to me...
This guy says, Howard, you pussy, you let Artie walk all over Gary while you sat there like a pussy. Tell it like it is. Don't you agree Artie is a liar? I agree that we all lie.
Why don't... But when 2 staff members argue, Howard always lets it go. I mean, it's funny.
If I interrupted that, I would have gotten such shitty email like, why can't you let anybody argue?
Right.
Yeah,
Why do you have to make it about you?
You're always going to get shit.
Right.
What did you say that... I mean, listen, Artie and I definitely have issues with each other, but Artie's the one who brought it up the other day. In other words, I wasn't looking to pick a fight with Artie.
Right.
He was mad at something I said.
Well, no, you were on the wrap-up show, and you had said that Artie is a liar and that it really bothers you, and you don't trust Artie about anything anymore. So Artie confronted you about it. He said he was sick of it, and he didn't like what you were saying about him on the wrap-up show. And that's what started it, and I listened. But when I listen, people get mad at me, and sometimes when I jump in, people get mad at me. I can't win.
Right. No, you did the right thing the other day. I didn't expect you. That's the way the show runs.
I mean, I know you get upset when Artie misses some work. I don't.
Right,
because, quite frankly, I feel that it's within the parameters that I can accept. Now, I assure you that when things are unacceptable to me, Artie will know it.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. I think
that was a point I didn't get to make to Artie the other day. Is that we're both right in the sense that you don't care and it bothers me, and that can be just because it bothers me doesn't mean I can do anything about it. It's just the way I feel.
Right. You feel that he should be a little more professional.
Right, but you accept it, and I get that. We both came to the agreement.
He is being professional in that when he can't work, he doesn't come.
Right.
Well, and again, I'm not staying at home to put on a little hat and have my friends over to have a party.
He really can't work those days.
Those days I can't work are horrifying to me. I sit there scared, like everyone's going to call. Well, Jay, I'm like, oh my God, and I'm sitting there shivering.
So Gary, is everything okay with you and Artie now?
Yeah, I think so. He called me probably like an hour after the wrap-up show, and he apologized, and I apologized, and listen, there's some pretty crappy things said on both sides that I think it'll be hard for both of us to forget. But I think we sort of got it together.
Now, has your opinion changed of Artie? Like you said, you can't really trust him anymore.
No, I don't. Listen, I still think that I have to question some of the things he said, but he was right. I mean, he hit me with my exact words. I said everything Artie says is a lie, which is not what I meant. But what I did mean to say is that almost a lot of what he says I have to question, and that I stand behind.
Dude, so is You're right, man?
What now? What?
No, I just want to make sure. Is everything cool with you and Gary?
Oh, yeah. Me and Gary are tight, man.
You guys are tight?
Tight, yeah.
Can you believe everything you say now?
No, I wouldn't believe anything I did.
So maybe you guys aren't tight.
No, I think, unfortunately, Gary and I, our friendship boat has sailed away. It's left the dock.
So that was just a bullshit call?
Now, the only person I have left to alienate on the crew is Brian Phelan and Scott DePace, actually. They're my only two friends right now.
You could never.
And they say I could never. I'll think of a way. I said this earlier on when I had this job. I will leave here. I will get everyone to hate me. This is what I do. I'm very good at this. And then they don't call me again, which is my goal. Although I've made Ted hate me years ago, and he still calls me. I don't know. So I don't know. I got to do something really bad to everyone here to get them to stop fucking calling me. Including you, whoever you are behind the camera. Who's that, Danny? Chris?
Chris.
It's Chris. Thanks, guys.
Don't come back.
Leave it dirty. Not like a...
Hi, this is Richard Christie, inviting you to watch my new television show, Howard TV's Interview with a Porn Star.
I was very promiscuous.
On the show, I interview some of the most talented and beautiful women in the adult film business.
When I was about 18, I met up with Ron Jeremy.
You and I both know that not all artists work with oils, watercolors, or clay. No, sometimes they work with vibrators, dildos, or rubber fists.
Did you write all that yourself?
Howard TV's Interview with a Porn Star. New episodes premiere every week, only on Howard TV On Demand.
It turns me on knowing that I'm turning on other people.
Norm MacDonald, and I'm going to go see Howard Stern and talk to him on the radio.
What's going on, man? Anything new?
Just what I told you. I just fucking told you.
So you just here to hang out?
No, I told you word for. You have it on tape. Why are you asking me?
So you're here to talk to Howard?
I'm here to. What did I say?
Anything in particular, though?
No.
No.
I never think more than about 5 seconds ahead of time.
Keep us on our toes. It should be good.
I don't know. It might not be.
We'll find out.
He'll be fine.
All right, thanks, man.
Norm Macdonald's here, the comedian. Used to be on Saturday Night Live.
Norm was just making me laugh. He was telling me, he said something that's so true.
What did he say?
He just did stand-up down in Florida.
Right.
Like, in Florida is such a different world with people. Like, there's a lot of creepy people in Florida, like swingers, you know?
Right.
And
What?
like, after you do a stand-up gig, people from the audience will come up to you, like an overly tan, like, guy with a bunch of jewelry on, and they'll say, "Hey, man, I come back to my apartment."
Is Artie telling my story?
Yes, he is.
Dad, you want to tell it? You tell it.
Yeah, why don't you let Norm...
Norm's here, but
hey,
Norm
fucking
can't
bring
speak.
3 stories, and then Artie will tell one. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's pretty
How
good.
the fuck did that work
Yeah,
out?
why do we need you?
What
Just
the
tell your
fuck?
stories to
Norm,
Artie.
what happened in Florida? Why is doing
Is that
stand-up...
what
No.
Yeah, that wasn't a story I brought. I was just telling him.
Why is doing stand-up in Florida? What is Artie talking about?
No, because in Florida, where I just was, they have people that, I don't know what the fuck they do, but everybody got money. I guess, like, they had Coke for years, like thousands of pounds of Coke, and I don't know if guys still do it, or I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, there is a a lot of coke there, but you're right. People are rich. People are rich, and you don't know why. Like they're just in your face. With
so
money.
a guy picks me up. He's a limo driver, and he's like, fucking guy goes, yeah. He goes, I can take you any place, man. Anything you want. I go, what? He goes, anything you want. He goes, I got my wife. I go, your wife? Like, I thought he was talking about like drugs or something. He starts with his wife.
He could take you to his wife.
He's got his wife.
Says I can get anything I want, and then he goes, my wife.
Don't you want his wife?
Was he offering you his wife?
I don't fucking know. But it wasn't. It was all weekend long. I just meet 4 or 5 guys, and they go, hey, so this is the wife, and this is the other wife, and how about the 8 of us?
Oh, yeah?
Well, they wouldn't say it right out, but you kind of go, oh, what are you talking about? Why are
these guys are trying to deal you their wives?
No, they all want to swing.
No, you don't know what the fuck. You don't really know what the fuck's going on. Because they don't come right out and say they want to fuck you.
Well, why does everyone want to swing with you, do you think? I mean,
not me, anyone.
No,
anyone.
they ask. I've gone deeper into the conversation than Norm did with these people because it's fascinating and I wanted drugs. But no, they'll tell you.
Like crazy.
They'll tell you eventually. Like, look, there's me, and this is my wife, and this is her friend Nancy, and this is my friend Ed. You know, and we'll get some ecstasy.
Ed's where it becomes problematic.
Yeah. Nancy was fine.
Yeah,
Ed's
everything's going good. All of a sudden, Ed, what the fuck?
And Nancy's usually 46.
Who the fuck is Earl? Who the fuck was this guy? Nobody told me about a guy coming out of a closet whacking off with his half-hard cock. Where the fuck did he come from?
Wait, they say,
things were going really well in the fantasy. You, Nancy, and Shirley, and suddenly Earl walks in.
Yeah, what the fuck? You never told me. And then they're like, well, if we brought it up, we thought you'd say no. Of course I'd fucking say no.
Earl was an afterthought.
There's always a hot tub and ecstasy and pills, and they go, come back and we'll all fuck.
You know,
I don't want to fuck anybody.
Like I lived in you live in a hot climate. You live in a hot climate. There's not a whole lot to do. You rely on other people, and it becomes like an orgy state. I think that's what happened. I think, like I lived in Detroit for a while, and there wasn't a lot going on.
That's different.
And people just sort of when I lived in Detroit, people would just sort of congregate together because there wasn't a lot of outside stimulation. You relied on others.
Right. Detroit was mostly rape.
No. You're talking about the suburbs. I'm talking about in the suburbs of Detroit. You know, Detroit itself is a horror scene, but people would begin to rely on each other for entertainment. I think that's what happens, and then there's this weird, creepy thing that happens where people just start having
the
sex with
celebrities
each other.
coming to town, and we kind of know he wants to party, and he can fuck my wife and her friend, and I'll fuck him.
There's a lot. That's kind of unsaid.
Yeah.
You know, the part about where a guy's fucking me.
Who's taking them up on these offers? They must
at the end
be
of the
working.
night.
A lot of comics.
I guess the idea is...
Doug Stanhope.
Doug Stanhope. So anyways, I go, no, I go, listen, basically, I'm not a fancy guy. Fred, you know that.
Really? I always thought of you as a fancy
My
guy.
thing is, like, for a sexual encounter or something, I like to lie on top of a lady. I don't need a lot of fucking shit going on.
One girl will do it. Are you currently
That's exciting enough for you.
Are you currently in a relationship, or are you playing the field?
Oh my God!
What the fuck? What are you, retarded?
Are you really having a relationship? Come on,
man. Seriously, what the fuck? Listen, I want to talk about this fucking... I want to talk about... First of all, it was funny because the guy was in here. when guys get interviewed and they're not really famous for anything except giving a guy steroids or something.
Right.
Because one time at Saturday Night Live, there was this guy telling Artie, there was this guy, Football Williams, and this guy's the guy that threw the brick at Original Denny's head during the riots. Remember
Football Williams is the guy who, during the riots, would throw. I remember Reginald Denny was a white guy.
Yeah.
He had
he
the misfortune.
threw a brick at his head.
Pulled him out of the truck.
Yeah. That guy's name was Football Williams?
Yeah, his name was Football Williams.
And he was on Saturday Night Live?
No, he was on Donahue, which used to be right beside Saturday Night Live. But
Okay.
Schneider told me this story, Rob Schneider.
Right.
He went in, and Football Williams was there in a suit. You know, he was on Donahue.
Wearing a suit.
Yeah, wearing a suit. And he kind of recognized him, and he was like, fuck, it's that guy that fucking threw the brick at the guy's head. You know, he was all mad.
Yeah.
And then Football Williams goes, hey, man, you the copy guy. You funny. He says, you do my name, man. Football Rooney, or whatever the fuck. Right? So then he said, then Schneider said he really liked him.
Yeah, you know, that's a funny thing. Like Artie said, he didn't like the guy who shot the steroids into Clemens, but then he met him and he liked him.
Yeah.
It was a very different kind of thing, you know.
And
so.
you could tell he liked the show. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they get to you.
Yeah. But
listen, man, I'm always on the lookout for you guys out there in the fucking real world. You live in your little fucking bubble.
Our little bubble here.
There was an article about Artie.
Oh, in Rolling Stone.
That thing.
Oh, you know about this shit?
Yeah.
You read the Rolling Stone article and you thought you'd
It's the
tell us?
fucking weirdest fucking thing I've ever read in my life.
Do you think it's a negative article or do you think it's a positive article?
That's the best article he's ever read about.
They had an age-old debate about this fucking article.
Well, let me ask you something.
This is the only art. Listen, if you read an article about an entertainer, I think this is history. This would not. I have never read an article about an entertainer where the entertainer is described as a liar. You don't see that like if they're doing a piece on fucking Elizabeth Taylor.
Right.
Not only does Elizabeth Taylor lie to people. What? You go, what?
But let me ask you
I thought I was reading about a fucking comic. What?
Norm, let me ask you a question. There's a school of thought, which I share,
Yeah.
that, you know, Artie's book is about his
And
drug-
then she goes like, there's other shit where she goes like, he's a fucking guy that's like, kind of like these two dead guys. Andrew Dice Clay, obese, tragic clown. Like, that's a phrase. There's no phrase with obese in it. I've heard tragic clown. She tries to throw that in as if that's the phrase.
Well, I know Artie...
Obese, tragic
And
clown.
then I'm like David Sedaris, which is great.
No, all of a sudden she goes, I guess I'll make him a fruit. What the fuck is that? First,
So you didn't like the article?
he knows, because he knows.
Understand it.
What? I didn't like the article.
You didn't like the article?
It's the fucking worst article I've ever read. It's not, this ain't no puff piece. Listen, let me tell you about. You know show business.
Yeah.
You got your puff pieces.
Yes.
And then if it's not a puff piece, what is it? Inevitably,
It's a shitty
hatchet
piece.
job.
Yeah, hatchet job, right.
Fucking hatchet job.
But let me ask you something.
Jesus, horror.
You're working up Artie into his fight, but can I give you the opposite point of view?
He's just funny. I think he's funny.
Norm.
Not being funny. I didn't think it's shit article.
Artie is in Rolling Stone, which is exciting.
Yeah, because they come and they go, hey, man, we like you. Hey, I know these motherfuckers. Hey, we
Artie
like you. I mean, obviously not going to go, hey, man, we're going to fucking call you an obese clown. Here, can we take your picture?
Do you ever,
By the way,
did this ever happen to you?
Artie, why do you have a fucking sign saying no photography fucking equipment allowed in my apartment?
The picture was not good, in your opinion? Yeah.
No, the picture, I don't find.
Norm, has this ever happened to you? Were you ever the victim of a hatchet job?
No, I did.
You seem bitter.
You know, because people come with, obviously, she came fucking wanting to fucking fuck Artie over.
Do you think so?
You think?
Of
Can I ask you
course.
something,
That's what
Norm?
they do when they do this thing. But
Norm,
when-
I'm trying to ask you a
But
question.
I had a guy that came to me one time, and he actually liked me.
Yeah.
I changed his mind.
You mean he came in to do a positive piece?
Yeah, I was at Saturday Night Live, right? So the guy fucking comes and he thinks I know about politics, but I don't know about anything.
Right.
Right?
Just because you did the news.
Yeah,
doesn't
just because
mean-
I did
yeah,
the
right.
news. So he's a famous guy. He wrote this book called
Oh, the guy you had, Howard, David Wild.
David Eggers. No, David Wild was a good guy.
Yeah, I had David Wild.
David Eggers. He wrote a book called My Staggering Book of Genius or some fucking thing.
Oh, yeah. I read that book. It's a good book.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't read a book where I don't understand the title. This will be a good... like those movies?
Yeah.
Too Fat to Fish.
Yeah, I'm Too Fat to Fish.
That's my title.
I know it is. I like it. It's a good book.
Norm, what are you saying? You had a hatchet job done on you? What are you saying?
No, I'm saying he came... That was very funny because he came liking me, right?
Right.
So he goes, hey, man, politics, right? And I go, I don't know anything, Jim Downey knows a lot of stuff. He does those, and I just, read the headline and then try to figure out a joke.
All right.
And so he goes, oh, he's kind of like, huh? Because I guess he liked political stuff or some fucking thing. So I was doing stand-up. So I go do my stand-up, right? And I'm all sick that day. I didn't think I could do the stand-up because I had diarrhea and everything.
Oh. Why do you point to your throat when you say you have diarrhea? I'm just curious. But anyway, go ahead.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
It was all the way up there.
Artie says diarrhea of the mouth.
So Norm, so the guy liked you.
The more like diarrhea of the mouth with this guy.
So the guy liked you. He thought you were political.
Yeah. So then I wasn't political. So then he goes and fucking does this gig with me where he thought he was gonna see Mort Saul or something like that. So, meanwhile, it's a guy with diarrhea backstage going, fuck, I hope I don't have diarrhea on stage. So, that doesn't help the story at all.
Right.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
So, I go on stage, and so, anyways, when I go on stage, I just talk at the start, and so I just talk about having diarrhea and everything for a little while, and being weirded out that I was on stage with feeling like I had diarrhea. So I just did some fucking jokes or something, talked for a while.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I never know what to do at the end, so I just talk to people, whoever the fuck they want to talk about.
Sure.
So guys were like, and yelling out shit and stuff. And so then in this article, the article comes out, and all of a sudden, I'm a fucking guy that does a fucking hour act about diarrhea.
Oh, he turned it around on you.
He doesn't talk about
what it was,
politics.
I think, in his head. He goes, like this, the first line is, the first thing you have to know about Norm Macdonald, he's not a political comic, unless you consider diarrhea or something like that.
So you were the victim of a hatchet job.
No, it wasn't a hatchet job. It was just what he thought, I guess. This is a fucking hatchet job.
Yeah. So in Artie's article, let me give you the opposing point of view that I might share.
I think she wants to go like, oh, fuck, what if Artie dies and I wrote a nice thing about him, you know what I mean?
But wait a second. Artie's book is about his drug use. Artie's book is about all of his, all of his faults.
Carousing.
And his carousing. And she says, basically, here's a day in the life of Artie, and there is a lot of turmoil right now in the life of Artie, and she describes it. So maybe it's really...
Maybe you should be asking your buddy Artie, why would he expose all of that to a reporter?
But Norm makes a good point,
because
too.
That song, Cover of the Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone.
But Norm makes
I
a
was
good
into
point.
that.
I mean, she even says in the article that Artie's trying super hard to impress her. And
but I wasn't.
But everybody is.
Artie, it's an article.
I don't know. It's an article.
I mean, I was on some level, but I wasn't trying super hard to do anything.
Being, nice.
Like one time they did a Rolling Stone fucking thing about me, and I was like, hey, man. Like, he was like, hey, tell me about yourself. I go, I don't want to compliment myself, but when I read these fucking articles, everybody's saying the guy's a fucking genius and all this shit. I go, why don't you go just ask people? They'll fucking tell you something. Because I read these articles, I go, do people really think about people this much? They'll go like Howard Stern. Fucking a guy has fucking 8 things to say. I go, I never thought.
All right. Well, the title of your article was "The End of Civilization." Norm Macdonald used to be urbane wit of SNL's Weekend Update. Boy, is that over.
Are you Googling or something?
Yeah, wow.
No, I mean...
You use www?
Yeah, I used www, and I found out what was going on.
But he's right. Norm is right. When you read stuff about somebody else, I don't know, like David Cross or something, or some of these other guys.
Everybody else is a genius.
Yeah, they got 1 million people in their life that they find who call them great. And
it's like,
well, maybe they'll call somebody in the...
It's like a guy's worked on a quote for a fucking month or something. It's like Churchill. He goes, well, the thing about Dana Gould is that a big fucking thing. I go, wow, that guy thought about that a long time.
So it's very important.
Come up with that big fucking thing. I don't think about anybody.
Do you have a publicist to make sure now that these kinds of things don't
Like if
happen?
somebody asked me about Artie or you, I go, you're fucking real funny. I wouldn't go like, well, I guess.
Did you call the guy after your article appeared? Did you say,
No, I
I'm
didn't give
not
a
pleased?
shit. No, I didn't go.
I mean,
but it was nowhere near this. This is like
this is DEFCON 5. This is bad.
Hitler got better press.
I think a lot of these writers too don't like comedians.
What about when they make
from
a
the
beginning?
beginning? You know?
I love when they
joke.
make a joke and it's the fucking most shit joke of all time.
What is it?
I don't know. Every,
like
every
a lot of
fucking
them-
time they'll make a joke, like in the review they'll make a joke, you know?
Right.
They'll go like, dirty work was dirty. Didn't work so dirty when whatever. Some fucking
But these are guys who can never get a job writing on any show that Norm or I was ever on. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think they're bitter about that. But clearly,
I just felt bad for Artie.
then when they call people up about me, it's never that. You know, it's guys that I know have said to my face, "Hey, you're funny," but it's always like, "Yeah, we're just afraid Artie's going to die."
yeah.
Well, listen.
I don't know. You know, it's just one fucking.
Now, I understand you are going with Artie.
It's just a slimy job because the girl has to go to Artie and pretend she likes him. It's going to be a good article.
Yeah, she's faking it too.
Fucking shit job where you have to lie to somebody, tell them it's something going to be good, and then disappoint them.
On any level, do you think she wrote a nice article?
That's what you think? I didn't.
On
really
any
think
level,
that.
do you think she was? Did she give you the impression, Artie, that she liked you and she was going to do a good job?
Yeah, she said, "Listen, I think you're." She said to me, "She said after I did stand up, I was driving her home, and she said." I think you're unbelievably talented. That was impressive to see. She said to me, it was unbelievably impressive to see you got a standing ovation going up, you got a standing ovation leaving, and there were people mobbed backstage trying to get you to sign their book, thanking you and hugging you. I said, well, great. I said, that's going to look great in Rolling Stone.
Unfortunately, that didn't
Just
make
that didn't
the
make it
article.
in.
And everything she said was true. That happened. I didn't tell her anything, but, you know, it's like...
Norm, how are things otherwise besides Artie's article? Are you
Are you over
doing
that?
okay? I worry about you because I
Worry
believe
about me.
because you have problems too, like Artie. Artie has his addictions, but you are addicted to gambling, aren't you?
Nah, I'm not.
No, come on, get away from the microphone with your hand. I can't hear you. No, you gamble a lot. You go to these. Someone told me something amazing about you, that the movie Rounders, which is about underground gambling, was based on your life.
Oh, no.
Is that true? That they followed you around?
No one told
I didn't
you
say that.
I did. I got that information.
I know that guy who wrote it likes Norm.
Is that in my Wikipedia?
You know, Brian Koppelman likes you, the
and
writer
that
of
he
that.
followed Norm around, and Norm would go play poker at a lot of
In
these
the middle of
underground
the
couples
night,
in the
yeah.
middle of the night.
That's true.
And it's actually a documentary on Norm's life.
No, it's not.
It is.
But I would go to the same club where it was where they did Rounders, and this was before Rounders. Yeah.
Why would you play poker?
When I was a kid, I played backgammon. I was good at backgammon.
But why would you play poker at an underground club when you could go to, let's say, Vegas or Atlantic City and play poker? Why would you go underground? What is
Because
the
I was
appeal?
only a little kid. I was just a kid.
Oh, you were a kid.
And
oh, I
one
thought
is,
you...
well, no, but one is 2 blocks away in Manhattan. You know,
Oh, I see.
Me and Norm went to a week. The second time I was on your show ever with Norm, we were in one of those clubs all night long.
Right.
And we came right from the club.
Did you get your clock clean? Did you lose a lot of money?
I lost all my money immediately, so I had to start. I had to start shooting pool. There was just all gambling going on. So I shot 8-ball until like 6:30 in the morning with a guy, and I lost $800 doing that.
Right.
And then Norm, I lost about $2,000 at the tables. Norm played poker, and then
Did Norm win?
We just
Hey,
made
one time a guy tried to hustle me at pool.
Are you good at pool?
Norm's
No.
good at pool.
No,
I mean,
no, not very good. But we're just playing like bar pool, like we're drunk. We're all drunks. This was when I was young, you know.
But you play for a lot of money.
No. This is when I had no money.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm playing this fucking. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, you're okay.
Well, I'm playing this fucking pool hall, and this big giant black guy. It doesn't matter what color he was.
Yeah. All right, but it helps the story. Giant black
like
guy.
Forrest Whitaker in The Color of Money.
In The Color of Money, yeah. So he comes, no, but he's dressed like he has all this stuff, and he has 2 girls with him, you know, and I'm all drunk. I'm like an idiot, you know, with my friends playing pool. So he goes, I'm next, you know, so he puts his, like, fucking 4 quarters down.
Yeah.
And so then he goes, here, let's play. So the guy, he has his own stick, you know.
Oh, boy, you're in for trouble.
Yeah.
Then.
So we're playing, and he's missing by only like a millimeter every time, you know. But I win, I beat him handily, but like he's the worst hustler of ever, right? So we play for $1. So then he goes, now we're playing. He goes, now we're playing for $100. Like it goes up to 100 from one, and I just beat him every fucking. So I go, no, I'm not. What? I'm not playing.
I'm taking my $4 and going
drunk, you know. I go, I'm ahead $1. I was kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
I go, I'm ahead $1, you know. I'm not playing you anymore. Ah! And so the guy goes, he's all mad. So then another guy played, and then stupidly I gave my friend advice, and then the big giant guy hit me with the cue across my head.
Wow.
And I looked up, and the cue stick was right in my head, and he goes, I break people's bones for a living, motherfucker.
Why? Oh, whoa, you're kidding me.
Yeah, that was.
He sounds like Football Williams, that guy.
I was like that.
Oh. But Norm,
so that was my story about my
Norm,
pool hustling days.
You should keep that one to yourself, the pool hustling story. But Norm, shouldn't tell that on radio. Yeah. But Norm, I don't understand something. You go to these underground clubs and you play these cards, and it's a lot of money. You're talking about a couple of grand, right? You're talking about maybe
I lost
20,
a couple of grand.
You're talking 20.
Got 160 million. You're talking about, it's like when Johnny Carson tried to be like, what's a loaf of bread cost nowadays? Is this crazy?
No, I'm saying I got news for you.
It's like $2,000. It's like $2,000.
I wouldn't gamble $100.
Yeah, but he's not a gambler. I've seen Howard get mad over $10.
I don't like to gamble. I find it insulting. That, in other words, I find making money, is a very, especially where I grew up, is a very hard thing for a lot of people, and it's a tough thing. And to just piss it away in a gambling situation,
my old man felt the same
offends
way.
me.
And my father would think that too.
Right, but you play for big bucks, right? I mean, 20, 30 grand a clip, right?
I'm trying my best.
Well, you don't remember what happened with this place when we were there all night.
Yeah, tell the truth.
And we were there. I don't know what Norm played that night. He was playing all night. I lost 2,000 myself,
Right.
But so. We came here, and Norm accidentally said the name of the place.
Oh, fuck.
Do you remember that, Norm?
Yes, because the guy did not care for that.
A guy called up and said, yeah, listen, Norm, like later in the afternoon, he said, listen, we appreciate you coming here, but we don't have a fucking publicity department.
We're not looking for customers.
They're not looking for that.
Can I say the name of the place? It's not there.
Mayfair.
No, don't say.
It's not there anymore.
The Mayfair. It's not there anymore.
Closed.
No, it's a famous place now.
Yeah.
The Mayfair.
Yeah. Well,
But Norm, I think Howard's right in the sense that guy Koppelman who wrote Rounders, he's a good guy. I know him too.
Yeah.
He likes you.
No, he
and
was there
sort
all
of
the
hung
time.
around.
Yeah, he played at where.
Well, why couldn't it be his own story if he was
I
there?
might be involved. I knew a guy that was in the movie, Joey Bagels.
yeah. What I hear is that it was based on you. Legitimately,
he would watch Norm while he played.
So, are you going to Vegas with Artie and going to be on Sam Simon's TV show with his gambling?
Oh, you're doing that, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
He told me me and him together are going to play poker on television.
Now, how is that going to work for Artie? You know he's going to get into trouble in Vegas. I thought you were interested.
All I know is like Sam's been to this Playboy. It's Playboy's Sam Simon's poker show or whatever it's called.
Right.
But
is it on real TV?
Well, I don't know. He's been there more often than you'd be for Grey's Anatomy or something. You know, it's like that kind of a production.
So Sam Simon, the guy who created The Simpsons, has a gambling show.
Yes, a poker show where he's the host.
And where does it air? Do you know?
And me and Artie are the guests.
So Sam's not gambling.
It's the Playboy Channel, Howard.
It's
Playboy
the Playboy
channel.
channel.
Yeah, that's what Sam told me.
So it'll be you and Artie and Sam.
It follows Hef's place.
I see. So it'll be you, Artie, and Sam up against each other in a battle of poker wits.
But hey, don't expect, don't be surprised if there's a streaker. It's the Playboy Channel.
Right.
Sam is the host, but he's gambling as well.
Oh,
yeah, Sam's playing.
Okay.
And early on Hef show before,
it gets more and more interesting. Sam's playing poker as well with us.
Oh, wow. And,
what a bitch.
And who are the other people that will be playing with you?
Dick Gregory and Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
No, really. Who will be the other people playing at the table?
I don't know.
Jennifer Tilly.
Of course.
Is that true? His ex-wife.
His ex-wife.
Right. And maybe some other folks.
And Phil Locke as Jennifer Tilly's present
Boyfriend?
Is that the Unabomber guy?
Yeah, the professional.
You know, the professional poker player they call the Unabomber because he
with the
wears a
hood.
hood.
Oh, he's a professional poker player?
You're
He's
gonna go
great.
up
Yeah,
against
he's
a professional.
We're going to go up against a professional
And they will.
poker player.
And what do? They give you a certain amount of chips. Everyone gets the same amount, and then you have one big winner at the end.
Yes.
Is that
And
correct?
what's the prize?
It's charity.
The prize is it all goes to good cause.
Oh.
But do you gamble the same way when you're gambling for a good cause as when you're gambling for yourself? Shouldn't the prize be really money for you? That's a whole different thing.
Norm does. Norm's competitive, man.
Right.
But Norm, he does.
Are you going to take it? Do you want to win? Do you want to beat Sam, Simon, and Artie at the poker table for charity? Are you going to be motivated to win this
Yeah,
thing?
well, you want to win for charity because
Yeah.
you know it's good stuff for the world and stuff like that.
Right.
But you know what I don't like when I come and my charity is not as good as the other people's charities.
Right.
And then I go, oh, maybe they should win because there's like AIDS in Africa and stuff.
All right.
And mine's the like some improvements at the Bel Air Country Club.
What is your charity anyway?
That's it. It's the
Is
Bel
Bel
Air.
Air Country Club.
Yeah,
charity?
their tennis club.
Wow.
Needs a net.
It needs a net.
And you'll get preferential treatment if you.
You want to
don't
talk
know.
about competitive shit? Me and Norm used to play
playing
tennis.
Jesus.
Me and Norm played tennis at the
Can imagine.
at the Burbank Country Club because we shot our show on the Warner Brothers lot.
Right.
And we got thrown out of the place because we really got mad at each other for winning and losing. And
You take it serious.
Because we'd yell and stuff and dive for the balls, and people would be like in white stuff.
David,
I think we should have been wearing white stuff. In all fairness,
You do a lot of work for charity like this. You like to participate.
not sweatpants.
You do a lot of work for charity, Norman, in the sense that you'll go on TV shows for charity. You did, didn't you do a Celebrity Millionaire or something like that?
Yeah.
And how did you do on that? Did you win money?
Yeah.
You
no,
did.
I did. The celebrity, the charities did.
You're not the celebrity?
The charities did.
But you were the celebrity on Millionaire.
Yeah. Do you remember leukemia?
Yeah.
My money that pushed it over doesn't exist anymore.
You got rid of it.
I got rid of it.
No, you went on Millionaire with Regis, right?
Yeah.
And Regis asked you questions.
Yeah.
And then you answered up to, do I have this right? $500,000 worth of questions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he won $500,000.
Brainiac.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty smart. 500,000 he got up to. That's pretty good.
Norm's a smart motherfucker.
But I'm not anywhere close to Brainiac.
Well, Brainiac, of course, was invented on Krypton. He's a supercomputer. But
Yeah.
I don't say literally.
Oh, I was saying, you're comparing me. That's high praise. Because Brainiac, you could tell even from his head how smart he was.
And he had tubes coming out of his head.
I know, man.
Norm picked Paul Newman's charity because Norm wanted to meet Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So you gave to his salad dressing
Yeah.
empire kind
and
of thing?
also, it is a great
The hole in
cause.
the wall.
The hole in the
kids
wall
or
game.
How long ago was this? A couple of years ago?
Yeah.
So Paul Newman was
26 years ago.
So did Paul Newman call you personally and say to you, "Hey"?
No, he wrote a letter.
Did he?
Yeah.
Look at you, $500,000 contribution.
Yeah, and I could have gone to meet him, but then I was too afraid.
What do you mean you were afraid?
Well, you know, and like it seems like a good idea, but then when it comes down to it, it's just you and Paul Newman.
Yeah, you know what
in
to
a
say.
room. Yeah, and then you got no stories. Like what am I gonna say? I go, hey man, one time Will Ferrell was.
Rob Schneider and Football Williams. I'm sure
Rob
you'd love
Schneider.
him.
You know him at all? Do you know anyone that I'm talking about? Do you know any entertainers I know?
That was a great story about you and Redford.
Yeah.
Listen, me and Artie Lang.
In other words.
So that was Robert Shaw, huh? Hey, fucking Bud Friedman's backstage with me. This guy's a character.
What
Huh?
you're saying is Paul Newman wrote you a letter and said, "Why don't you come out to my Paul Newman ranch?
Yeah.
And hang out with me."
Yeah.
So I
But
can
plus,
get to know
I
you.
kind of got the assumption that it would not be just me and Paul Newman. I suddenly had a fucking vision that it might be me, Paul Newman, and very sick children.
Oh, God.
So then it didn't become as appealing.
Well, you know what? Gary actually went to Paul Newman's house. Papa Booey went to
He
Paul
did?
Newman's. Yes. He was there for some charity event.
Oh, not to
I think
harass him.
it was a political thing.
A political thing. And Gary was in the barn. Paul Newman has a barn on his property.
Yeah.
And if he wants to meet with you, he meets with you in the barn where he has all his memorabilia from his. Well, now he's dead, but he had all his memorabilia in the barn.
Gary, go to
So
the barn.
You walk around and it's almost like a Paul Newman museum. You see
Yeah.
pictures, you see trophies, you see Academy Award, whatever, and then Paul Newman appears at the barn and he speaks with you.
And then he leaves. And that would have been it. I'm sure he wouldn't have
Oh,
hung
that
out with
would have
you.
been it. Oh, that's
Yeah.
his shtick he does. It's
I
his
think it's a
meet
shtick.
and greet.
It's
It's
a meet
like
and greet.
it's like Artie backstage at an Indian casino.
I take a picture of the tribe.
Do you find this with Indian casinos that some of them are real old Indians, like from the movies?
Absolutely.
And then some guys are just young guys that are like,
They don't even look like
want to go
Indians,
get a
right.
lady? And the other guys are like, this is my wife of 14.
No, yeah, the kids are the Indians. Because when you do an Indian casino, you have to meet the tribe.
Tribe leaders, yeah.
And the kids, their grandkids and shit, they all look like, the Jonas Brothers or something.
Right.
They're dressed in like shit from the Gap. And
You start to feel like it's all one big stamp. No one really looks like an Indian.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to prove.
But Norm wanted to. The funny thing about that was Norm could have won $1 million, and he was like, "Fuck the charity." Regis kept saying, "Norm, you sure you want to do this? Because if you lose, it's nothing." And Norm's crazy gambling attitude was like, "No, I want to win the $1 million."
Why did you stop at $500,000?
He talked me out of it.
Regis talks him out of it.
Yeah, well, $500,000.
You would have gone for it.
Yeah.
And he
well,
knew the
If it
question.
had been me, I would have done it.
Didn't you know the question?
Yeah, I knew the answer. It's,
You
whatever.
did? What was the $1
whatever.
million question? Do you know?
So, yeah, I know.
What
His
was the
lifeline
question?
was Sam Simon, and Sam
Yeah.
said, and he hadn't used Sam yet. Like Norm got to 500
He
grand
didn't
without.
even use all of his lifeline.
I know. I
What
wasted
was
my
the $1
lifeline.
million question that they would have asked you had you played on?
It's not entertaining.
I want to know. Yeah, it is. For me, it is. What
Okay.
was
See if
the-
anybody knows what it
Okay,
is.
ask us the
It's
question.
what a golf course, a bomb shelter is built under for the government.
Bunker.
What?
Yeah, bunker. Yeah.
What?
What is that your answer?
Is that the
or-
way
or-
Regis
are you
read the
clarifying?
question?
No. Again, say the question again.
Underneath a certain golf course, there's a bunker that, in case of a nuclear war, all the congressmen and senators.
I'd say probably at Camp David's private golf course. But let's see. What
No,
golf
why
course?
would you have it there? They hang
What
it
go-
there.
the name is what golf course?
Yeah, but
that's
this would only be an interesting question.
Fred, do you know that?
This would only be an interesting question on the golf network.
No, but it's because it's an interesting question. Because for $1 million.
How did you know the answer to this? How would you know where a bunker
That's
is built
amazing.
under a golf course? How did you know the answer?
And
I
you
don't
know the
I
name.
I read stuff.
Right. Do you read a lot? Is that what you like to do? You like to read books and things? All right.
Do you like to read books?
They give you 4 to choose from, right? 4 different golf courses.
Yeah.
And you have to pick the
Yeah.
one. But you knew the answer right off. You didn't even need.
I was pretty sure of it. Yeah.
What were the 4? Do you remember the 4?
But then, I remember the 4.
Go ahead. Give us the 4.
And you want me to remember all 4? Pinehurst, Greenbrier. Let's see, the ones I'm searching for, aren't going to be the answer.
Yeah, wasn't it Greenbrier?
It was Greenbrier.
Yeah.
Where's
And you
that?
knew that.
Fred knew. Fred
Wow.
knew. See, it wasn't that
Greenbrier.
hard a question. It was just either you know it or you don't.
Oh, you should have gone for the $1 million. What a schmuck you were.
Well, he wanted to. He kept saying like, no, I want to go.
No, this was the problem. When I was talking to Regis, I didn't know. I thought he knew the answers to the questions, So during the thing, I would know answers, and then I'd see something in his eye. He'd be like, "You sure you want to do this? We got the lifeline." So I go, "Okay, well, let me use the lifelines." Like I thought he was saying, like, don't do that. Yeah. But then it turned out later he never knew it.
He doesn't know anything.
He didn't know that. They don't tell him the answer until it comes up.
Wow.
So,
Well, anywely, listen, Norm.
I wish it was more entertaining. It didn't seem
No,
as
you were very
entertaining.
entertaining. As
You
a
were
matter
very
of fact,
funny today.
It seemed less entertaining than usual to me.
Really?